G'day guys and welcome to another episode of Fireside Yarns with Vinno, Reese and Daver. Glad to have you back again. Reese, how you going, man?
Pretty good, mate. Pretty good. How are you?
Some fucking shit talk going on before we hit record tonight.
Never. No, I'm all right, man. I literally
Just finished work, eh?
Just finished work. It's a little bit late. It's my bad, but we're here. We're getting it. We're doing it. We're doing it.
Never too late to sit around the fire. Never too late.
Typical me, you know, like always leaving everything to the last minute for assignments and stuff. So, but we're here. We're here. We're good.
We're here.
We're good.
All good. Davey, how are you, man?
Good, mate. Little bit pissed off. I've been waiting around here for a fucking little while now. I think I'll look at my moral clock here. Nah, man. Good to be back by the fire, you know, and not having to wear makeup and shit.
Yeah.
And now just fun.
Yeah. Now just fun. Wearing it because I want to wear it, you know?
Yeah.
I feel bad because I was so underdone last week.
Well, I'll tell you what. When I listened to it back, it was a very good relief when you took the mask off.
Yeah, man, it was good to get rid of that mask.
Dude, you think it was relief for you, man? I could not fucking breathe in that thing.
Yeah.
I've got a decent sized gong, man. I was sucking all of that plastic up there, man. It was fucked. Especially just laughing at Dave, man. It was just spit in. Couldn't help it.
Oh yeah, during the stinge.
Great. He wasn't stingy on the laughs, that's for sure.
That was fucking one of the greatest stories I've ever heard.
It really was.
I'd never heard that. I'd never even heard about Stingy Jack before you.
Neither had I. I randomly stumbled across it and I was like, "This'll do."
Yeah. I'm fucking so glad you did it, man. It was amazing.
I think, in all honesty, and from the feedback that I've had, like, I think the order that we did things in was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
I didn't think so because I had to go straight after Stingy Jack, and man, I thought I had my info, but I was completely fucked by the time it got to my turn because my mind was I was just fried from laughing at Dave.
Aroused by the tale of Stingy Jack. I just told the ghost story. Know what? That's why you had to get it out of the way because there's nearly no discussion that can be had. You can't have a discussion about Stingy Jack. It's just there. So that's why I was happy to get it out of the way. Then we can sink piss and talk about the spooky shit. You know, the shit's
because he's got short arms and deep pockets, right? Yeah.
Hey.
But hey, Vinno, better you than me.
Yeah.
That's a Wu-Tang lyric. That's a Wu-Tang lyric, isn't it, Reese? I fucking got you, bro. Yeah.
All right. It's been
didn't say the full line, but you're right.
Been a fucking crazy week though, boys. Around the place. Like, I'm not going to go into it too much, but Cleo Smith got found 19 days. She'd been abducted
And do you know what's funny is after we did the last episode, because I think you mentioned her during it at some point, Dave, towards the end. And
maybe
Hannah actually brought it up because I think you called her Claire as well. She was like, her name's Cleo.
I think her name's actually, I was calling her Chloe, I think.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Chloe.
Yeah. Common mispronunciation.
I didn't know about it.
Yeah.
I didn't know about it. Hannah actually told me about it. She was found with like some dude or something that's...
Yeah, it's still unfolding. We're gonna touch on it.
Yeah, man. So far, the stuff I've seen that's just came out today is flipping my mind. Like it's such a weird turn. The guy because they.
Do you think he's just like mentally ill, or is he like a pedo?
Not sure.
We'll have to find out.
Find out. We're gonna find out. It's a later episode. I haven't even done an
interview with her properly. Like,
wait, you're gonna get him for an interview?
We should get him on the yarn. You know what? We're going. Let's move along. So today's episode.
But no. Before we move on, man, something else that was fucking hilarious. And I don't know if you follow American politics.
Oh, QAnon.
The QAnon rally.
JFK Jr. returning to Dallas, Texas, where his dad died, to come back and declare Donald Trump the King of Kings and put himself as president. Where and hundreds of people showed up, dude, expecting for fucking JFK Jr., who died in a plane crash, and it was a Democrat. Oh man,
it's some crazy
people
shit.
Believe this shit. They're my favorite people now. They're dangerous, maybe, but when they're not being dangerous, so funny. It's
sad,
but sad. It's sad, yeah. It's
but,
an 8chan troll job, and people are
no idea who
it.
you're talking about.
Oh, dude, get on there and have a look. We'll flick you some stuff
get on
through.
Where?
We'll flick you some stuff through on
the media
anything,
somewhere. And look up QAnon JFK returns. JFK Jr., not even JFK. It's his son.
It's crazy, man. It's funny.
Man, I love it. Yeah.
But yeah, no.
Yeah, right.
It was, like I said, it was just a crazy week.
Yeah.
What a week, especially after Halloween, man. It was just, it needed to happen.
Do you know what else was really good?
Yeah.
What else was really good about this week?
What's that?
I had my first schooner tonight since July.
Yeah, nice, man.
And it tasted...
I was a dry July, yeah. And also, a fucking new Limp Bizkit album come out called Limp Bizkit Still Sucks. And mate, if you like Limp Bizkit, look, it's their fourth best album. You know what I mean? But it's I love it. So good.
So it's like the next bottom layer of the Oreo in the packet.
It's after Chocolate Starfish, and I really like it. I think it's good. It's funny. It's self-deprecating. It's biscuit, you know.
But, do you know what?
Now that you've mentioned it,
you've just
completely.
Yeah, look, he's just mentioned
you're fucking up my list. Yeah.
hey.
Our topic
and I thought about this today too, and I forgot it already.
Topic for this week. Like Reese's carrying on about our topic for this week, we've gone back to an old topic. One that Reese was keen to do back before he came on board. This is what brought him on board, actually. We've gone back and we're going to do songs that influenced us. And we've compiled a list of 7 songs each. And once again, we're going to put them on Spotify in a playlist. So you can all get on there and have a look, and they'll be in the show notes. So before we get too far into it, Reese.
We'll just make it 10. Is that what you're saying? Why is this always so hard, man?
Oh, man. I think that's why we've got to have so many volumes of it. So many.
Look, I agree.
Did you have any reason for the songs that you picked, or was it just random? What?
Look, pretty much the path I just went. So I've done a little bit different. I know you guys said songs.
Mm-hmm.
And some of mine, I mean, there's a couple of them that are just the song, but a few of them are actually albums for me, and I've just picked a song off of the album. So I've kind of, and we sort of said to each other that genre wasn't going to be limited this week. So I mean, obviously a lot of the content we've done has been around hip hop and stuff. So I've kind of tried to move away, I guess, a little bit from that. And also because in the first hip hop episode, like a lot of the songs that I picked for that were hip hop songs that got me into hip hop anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't want to double up. Otherwise this whole playlist could probably just be Wu-Tang if I'm not. But
Wu-Tang.
No, look,
we can make the setting for children then. As ODG said.
Thanks for the children, mate. It's pretty,
the first time ever we can tick the all ages box.
Yeah. But no, look, I tried to. I guess there is one hip hop song on here, which was. I think I might have given it an honorable mention, maybe in one of the other episodes, but it was one of the first sort of hip hop songs that I heard as a kid. But anyway, we'll get to that.
What?
Am I going first? Is that
you will in a second, man. We'll get rolling in a second. First, I want to know what Dave.
Cool. Oh, another Limp Bizkit reference. Rolling. Go on. Yeah. Sorry,
Dave. What?
Why'd you have to bring up Limp Bizkit? Fuck you.
What did you have? What was your thought process, man, with picking the songs this week?
Well, I thought about Limp Bizkit. No. Look, ultimately, why did I choose the songs? I guess some of them are historically or personally significant to me. Songs that I think might make you think or pull some sort of emotion out of you, or just ones that I'd want to make you play a guitar, like that type of stuff. Like I didn't go too deep, like this song I remember because of this date, or like because we do have some of them, and I think we even talked about them. And I won't name any of them because they could be on your list, but special songs. That remind me of something, but no, this one's just, I guess, for the things I said there. Personally significant, make me feel emotional, or make me think in some way, or inspire me, and make you want to play music.
Cool. Yeah, Well, I've gone down.
like
I had a pathway that I wanted to go down. Mine, I've picked. My first 6 are going to be the first song that I've heard of this band that got me into it. So, sort of, as I said before we hit record, that was the way that I went down it to keep it structured so that I wasn't sitting here changing myself. That point where I went, right, I've got to start getting my. So that was the way I came up with it, and then just got a sneaky song in there at the end. One that I really like, and I'll talk about it. So,
you know what? I've just changed my mind. I took the hip hop song out,
and this is why I went.
I've got one hip hop. I've got one hip hop in there as well.
No, look, yeah,
Save it for a hip hop 3. Yeah,
I'll still give it. I'll give it an honorable mention because, I mean, everybody knows it. But yeah, I'm gonna get rid of it because yeah. Okay, we're cool. We're cool.
Well, while you're talking, you can go first.
I can go
Likewise
first
again, Reese. What is your number 1 this week, episode 13?
Okay, so my number 1. I'm taking this back to when I was 100% a kid, and I got my first tape deck player, cassette player.
Walkman?
It was like no, it wasn't even a Walkman. It was like one of those old school
Box.
Mono single speaker, not even stereo, mono, 1 speaker tape player. I think I got it for my birthday maybe, and I got 2 cassettes with it. One of them was like, I don't know, like one of those pop hits, fucking
like Pepsi chart hits, like sort of thing.
Nah, I don't even. It might have been like it was like
now 45.
Yeah, something like that. Man, we're talking like early 90s, right? Yeah. So one of the tapes was that, and the other one was Michael Jackson's "Dangerous," and the song that I picked off that album was "Give In to Me," which is kind of a bit of a slower song, but it actually features Slash from Guns N' Roses. And I always remember the film clip being on like Rage and fucking Video Hits and shit as a kid, and always just frothing over Slash doing his little solo biz and his hat and shit. But at the time, obviously, I was like, I don't know who this dude is. Who's this Slash guy? And you know, my mum's like, oh, he plays guitar in Guns N' Roses, and I'm like, who the hell's Guns N' Roses? You know, I'm like a little kid. But I mean, like that album also has songs like Black or White, Jam. Remember the Time, like so many bangers on that album. And I guess Michael Jackson was also an introduction, I guess. He's obviously the pop star, but I mean, he obviously had a very R&B soul, you know, from the Jackson 5 and stuff like that when he was younger. And so that was an introduction to that whole genre for me as well. So yeah, but I mean, when did that come out? 1991, that album come out.
Yeah.
So I was only 5 years old.
But I remember seeing that
came out.
When you were, you know, mentioned Rage and all that sort of getting up and watching that on a Saturday morning. And the first time I saw Michael Jackson was when he was Thriller, actually. And I remember thinking the same thing.
Cool film clip,
man.
Such a good film clip.
Revolutionary, really.
Yeah, man. It was cool. Like Michael Jackson's film clips were always like really cinematic and kind of like short film kind of.
He was an entertainer, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Even in Bad, like there was that intro of the fight, and Smooth Criminal as well. Everything kind of had a story to it. Yep. Slash was on Black or White as well, with Macaulay Culkin, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I think he played on that as well. I can't remember who the rapper was that they used.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Was it like Slick Rick or like something like that? I can't remember.
I mean,
we'll have to go back and check it out.
He's the storyteller.
Yeah. Oh man, and an icon. Oh,
absolutely.
He could be his own episode of a real.
Oh, dude,
that's
his life story.
Not for kids episode.
Yeah,
it's
interesting.
He's amazing artist, and sad what happened to him. But
as a child,
definitely left a legacy.
If you look at Joe Jackson, is really to blame, I guess, for El Michael.
Yeah, and I mean, I suppose you're seeing not exactly the same, but similar things at the moment with Britney Spears, you know, like the exploitation and that's an interesting case as well.
Whether you think it or not about his whole thing with the kids and stuff, like regardless if it's true or not, man, the kind of pressure that
music,
the kind of pressure that living with those kind of accusations, being in the spotlight of the biggest pop star in the world, that's not easy for any human being, man.
And look, man, I think there's a lot
I'm not condoning
innocence.
If it was true, I'm not condoning it 100%. But you know, if that's not true and you've been accused of that, to live with that kind of thing over your head, man, that's got to be tough.
I don't know, man. I think, and we'll get into, we're probably going to have to do an episode on it, but I think there's a lot of innocence in him in regards to having his childhood taken away, not being able to have that childhood. And once he had that freedom as an old person, living that childhood, I mean, having Neverland and all those sorts of videos, like footage of him now coming through. I see that and I sort of think that's a child trapped in, you know, grown person's body.
There's a lot of
simply because
though that were traumatized as children, you know, and we don't just because they didn't have money to play around in their pajamas and
this is true.
Create a little amusement park for themselves. Like, I know that we know for certain he was inappropriate. Yeah, but we know, but you wouldn't sleep in a bed with other people's children overnight. And we know, like, they're mad. We know for certain he was inappropriate with children, other people's children. That's all we know. We don't, there's a lot of accusations. But, like you said, tortured as a child himself. We don't really know what that does to a mind. And it seems to be a lot of, whether it's causation or correlation between, you know, But we're going deep into Mickey Jack now.
We are. Dave, we're going to move to the
here. He's a very historical character in music, man. Like
fantastic character, not just in as an artist, but the business of music. Michael Jackson.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Dave, moving on. What's your number one?
Well, my number one is this artist didn't reach the heights of Michael Jackson, or maybe the lows as well of Michael Jackson. But this song,
how tall they were, I guess.
That's it. I don't know how tall he was, and that's a hint.
My bad.
But this song is called "The Band Played Waltz and Matilda," and it's written by Eric Bogle in 1971. And he's a Scottish-born Australian singer-songwriter.
Yep.
And he originally wrote that song as an oblique comment to the Vietnam War, which was in full swing at the time. But while the boys from Australia were dying there, people really didn't have that connection with Vietnam. So to write his anti-war song, Australians really, they're a lot closer ethos-wise to Gallipoli and the Anzac spirit, you know, and the stories of Gallipoli. So that's where he set the song there. And it's been covered by Slim Dusty, John Williamson. I originally heard the Pogue sing it, and that might be my favourite. I don't know if that's my favourite one, but I gave Eric Bogle, because he wrote it, I gave him the nod on the playlist because it was his. But I've the Clancy Brothers, Ronnie Drew, and it's about, what I love about it, it kind of starts off where, I'll do the first little bit. It's when I was a young man, I carried me pack and I lived the free life of a rover. From the Murray's Green Basin to the dusty outback, I waltzed me Matilda all over. And then he talks, from 1915, me country said, son, it's time to stop rambling, there's work to be done. They gave me a tin hat and they gave me a gun and they sent me away to the war. And then every verse after that is like leaving Circular Quay as a different person, fighting in the war, coming home, you know, suffering, losing a limb. And then a huge question at the end and a very big anti-war statement. But ultimately a beautiful song. Amazing song. And I just I just love it. I think it's actually probably one of my favorite songs ever. I think it was so well written. And I love the Pogues version, I love the Ronnie Drew version, I love John Williamson's version, I love everyone. It's like a song that I haven't heard anyone fuck up.
Yep.
But Eric Bogle's The Band Played Waltz and Matilda. Fantastic song.
Awesome. And that's a
I did not see that coming.
No,
that's awesome.
Oh, I love that song. I love that song.
But it's, you know, around that time in the Vietnam War, that sparked a lot of fantastic music and war. Music.
It was a very controversial war, eh?
Oh man,
conscripted as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
not just here, all over the world, and
all over the world. Yeah, 100%.
It's I didn't see that coming. Absolutely. So that's cool, man.
Yeah.
What's your number one,
Vinno?
My number one. So like I said, I went down the path of choosing the songs that I first heard of these artists. Got me into not. But my number one I heard from, I've mentioned them before because they were a source of a lot of my music, Walsh Boys. And I got given a CD of them, from them, with this song was on there, and the moment I heard it, I went, fuck yeah, these guys are awesome. Song is Mind of My Own by Strung Out, off their 1998 album Twisted by Design. Now,
what an album,
man, awesome album. And like I said, when I heard that song and saw that video clip, and I was fucking blown. When I first started playing drums, that was one of the songs that I first started learning, just because I loved it. Yeah. So that sort of, I suppose that CD in particular, there's a few songs that goes down punk and that sort of thing. Definitely, yeah. Strung Out's one of my favourite bands of all time. That was where I heard them and first started looking on from there. So yeah.
Actually, you know what? I think that was probably one of the first punk albums that I heard too.
Yep.
To be honest, I was never really a huge punk fan. Like, not that I didn't like it or anything. I just didn't really listen to it. I don't know. Heavier music always interested me more. I think.
Yeah.
I liked that punk was fast and stuff, but I just preferred chuggier, heavier music. Like, but as I got older and I delved more into heavy genres and stuff, like so much of it is influenced by punk. So it's hard not to go down the path of those things. And
late 80s, early 90s and all that, they were all intertwined, weren't they? Or even throughout the 80s, it was all intertwined with that heavy music. It was all alternative and and then
we even look at like Beastie Boys, man. Like they started as a hardcore punk band. That's what they were, you know. Like, and they kind of bridged that gap of punk hardcore to hip hop, like, which I think I mentioned in one of our previous episodes. Like, although there's such different sounding music between the two genres, they're so alike in that sense of community, like with their fan base and with their upbringings and the beginnings of the genres for both. Like, you know, it's it's hard not
music as well.
Yeah, 100%. So it's hard not to, even now, like, although there's probably new bands now that probably don't realize that they've been influenced by the genre as a progression has been influenced by those bands. So,
well, like we mentioned before with Dave's, like a lot of it has come from post-Vietnam War era music that like the government results of the Vietnam War. So it's really interesting, that era.
Two origins, really, doesn't it? It's got its American kind of birth with New York Dolls and even Ramones to an extent, and then you've got the British wave of like Sex Pistols, Clash, Susie and the Banshees, and then up Cockney Rejects and all. So punk can get fucking pretty heavy as well. I think when you grow up, the most popular punk when we were kind of in our era would have been that pop era. Your Blinks, your Green Day, who also had great early punk albums as well. But you had to dig a little bit more to get the likes of
and see, I heard a lot of the, not the pop punk style, I won't say what I was going to say. I heard Strung Out and those sorts of bands prior to Blink on that even.
Yeah.
because, yeah, I'd had that influence from Dad with all of his music. Rock, mate. Primary school. Punk. Only late after that too. Actually, it was. I think all the small things. I won't talk about too much, just in case it is on your list. But that was.
Fuck.
Yeah. I saw that on Rage actually. Or
I think the first
like that,
Blink song I ever heard was "Damn It." And
Yeah,
it was on,
it might have been.
It was on a Triple J Hottest 100 CD. Yeah, 97.
I think I'd heard it before I actually realised who it was, and thought, "Oh yeah, that's cool," but never delved too much into it. So
yeah,
I'd probably had
even
heard
back in
them.
that era too. Like, man, The Offspring, heck, smash.
Oh,
like,
dude,
that whole album.
But early Green Day, early Offspring as well. All those bands were fucking. They're pretty.
So good. Yeah.
I just remember Offspring featuring heaps on the Crusty Demons of Dirt videos, and watching that. And
I started that company, if you didn't know.
Fuck off.
Ask any of the boys, they'll tell you.
YZ250. Yeah, no, I just remember my old man fucking hated it. Classic rock. Anyway, moving on.
The
Number
emphasis for how a classic rock person might not like punk was when punk came out, it kind of threw away the elements that made those classic rock bands, even like Zeppelin and all.
Yeah,
the whole idea, structured, talented, distorted but beautifully written music, as opposed to more like "gee, fuck you" music.
Yep.
Yeah.
And essentially, a lot of it has the same message. Is of telling the story. Yeah. Greasy.
Yeah.
Number 2. What do you got? Number 2.
All right, my number 2. Fast forwarding to, I think I was probably just turned 18, maybe. It was the first hardcore show that I ever went to. I mean, going through school and everything, I was obviously very much into hip hop, very much into heavy music. Hadn't really listened to a great deal of hardcore or knowingly listened to it, but this band is an Australian band from Byron Bay. They played at the first ever hardcore show that I ever went to, which was like a Resist tour, I think, in 2004, which is the year that this EP came out. That's the Don't Close Your Eyes EP by Parkway Drive.
Fuck yeah.
I picked the song Looks Like Yoda.
That whole EP.
It was probably, that whole EP is amazing start to finish. And I mean, it's, man, I'm pretty sure everybody that knew me when I got that EP was sick of it because I just did not stop listening to it, man. And like, I remember I'd never heard them when I went to the show. The reason I went to the show was because my housemate at the time, I Killed the Prom Queen, was also playing that show, and went to see what were their name? You listened to them, Vinno?
For Christ.
No. They're like a post-hardcore band from the States. What's an Alexis on Fire?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So Prom Queen supported Alexis on Fire.
Man, fucking great
band.
I
don't like them. I've never really liked them.
Get the fuck out.
Get the fuck out.
If you don't like it, get the fuck out.
So yeah, Prom Queen supported them, and then it was like, we were like, holy fuck, this is the heaviest thing I've ever heard. And then my mate was like, they're playing at the Cambridge in Newcastle, we're going to go. And I'm like, okay. And it was like Prom Queen, The Dead Walk played that night, Irrelevant, and Parkway Drive. And I think Parkway played like second. And like, it was a Pat Cambo show, but like, I'd never been to a hardcore show before. I didn't know what breakdowns were. I was just like rocked up.
You're in for a fucking schooling, boy.
Yeah, man. I was like 18 years old thinking, used to just pogo mosh pits and pushing each other around. And Next minute, there's cunts doing fucking flying spin kicks in me face, and I'm just like, what the fuck's going on? Like, but the heaviest music I'd ever heard in my life, and I was sold from that moment. Like, it was the gateway to hardcore for me. And although I strayed away definitely from the more metalcore stuff, I love metalcore, don't get me wrong. But I mean, I've definitely leaned a lot more towards the hardcore side of things once I got into it. But man, that was one of the biggest life-changing albums for me because it started my entire, everything for me when it comes to playing in bands. And I basically spent pretty much from high school through till not even 10 years ago in that scene playing music and going to shows every fucking week. So
that was our life, wasn't it?
That was, man. And literally it was just local shows, touring bands. We didn't give a fuck, eh? Like it was just every weekend we'll find a show to go to or playing Guitar Hero, drinking. Yeah.
Fuck, man.
But, you know,
and met some amazing people along the way too.
100%, man. I met so many good people. I've got friends all over Australia now. And I'm pretty sure if I hadn't have gone to that show, none of that ever would have happened. So,
well, look at it this way, man. If you hadn't have gone to that show, you wouldn't have got me into it either. Like that was.
Oh, yeah. And the other thing that night, it was because it was only a couple of weeks after my 18th birthday, and me and the guy that I went with, actually, we went and bought a bong from the rock shop that day, and we camped at Stockton. And I drove me fucking 1979 Toyota Corolla, my first car, to and from the show. But we fucking Dutched our tent up, got stoned as fuck after the show, and I couldn't hear anything. My ears were ringing, and all we did was play the EP on repeat in the tent, just going, "What is this?" But couldn't hear shit because we're all deaf as fuck. But it was 100% a life changer for me. So
that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
All right, Davey, number 2. You're on mute, brother.
Sorry, I fucking had a sneaky sneeze. I had a sneaky sneeze in there, but I didn't move my mouth or it and was like, but anyway.
I thought I was watching the dub version.
Every version's a dub version.
Version.
That's right. Now, look, first song's pretty heavy, but this song, it's kind of, I wanted to give this artist a shout out, and he's Chuck Berry. But I love Chuck Berry. He's someone who writes his own music, and he kind of started rock and roll. But this song's a little bit different to his. This song's Too Much Monkey Business, and it's 1956, and it's been covered by Elvis, the Beatles, the Yardbirds, who of course had Eric Clapton in it. And what's cool about it is it's kind of rappy-ish. So it kind of had, it's actually said to be the influence for, you know, Bob Dylan's Subterranean Homesick Blues style of vocals. But yeah, it was quite a very early kind of form of rap. He was like running to and fro, hard working at the mill, never fail in the mail. Yeah, here comes a dollar bill. And then he'd get into the chorus. So I was that's back in the 50s.
Yeah.
He was just such a pioneer. And I was looking, awesome, I wanted to give him a shout out on this, but every other song, everyone knows Maybelline and Johnny Be Good and Reelin' and Rockin', and Sweet Little 16 was robbed from him, and the Beach Boys made us Surfing USA out of it. Like a lot of people owe it to Chuck Berry. And the funny thing is, a lot of those people are dead now. Like all those rock and rollers, most of them are gone, and Chuck Berry's still fucking going, mate. Chuck Berry's still going, and Mos Def played him in the movie Cadillac Records as well. That's pretty awesome. But I love Chuck.
Mos Def, man.
Man, he's a fucking fantastic actor. Apart from being one of the best flow artists and lyricists out there, doesn't get enough credit. Really,
he's so underrated.
But he's a fantastic actor as well. Yeah. But yeah, Chuck Berry, Too Much Monkey Business.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
Man, I love
That's awesome, man.
It's
I love it.
Listen to that. Yeah,
you surprise me every time we do these episodes.
I was obsessed with all those 50s rock and roll. Yeah, yeah.
The first episode you didn't shock me, but yeah, you've shocked me like every time, and I like that. It's cool.
I'm coming for this.
Yeah, that's a different train of thought. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Vinno, you're number 2.
So I'm going to move these around my 2 and 3. The reason being, Reese was just talking about hardcore in this band. Song falls into that category. So this was, I heard this song in this band the first time I went to a hardcore show at the Cambridge. The song is Free World by Drop Saw off their 2007 album Missing Limbs. Cambridge, we went down there. I think it was Drop Saw, Dead Walk.
Was it their launch show for this album?
I think it
probably a good chance.
Might have been actually, yeah.
Yeah. Oh man,
I remember that was a long time ago, but yeah, that was like I had same thing. I'd never sort of heard anything that heavy. I remember watching Freak, like it was, very much an eye opener. But yeah,
did you get tickets for their show?
Man, the one that just got canned.
It's been postponed till next year.
Okay, yeah no, I
you better. No way.
But yeah, awesome album. And that that was my gateway. Even though Reese had shown me hardcore or going to that.
Man, it's crazy, man. Like you can listen to hardcore and you can be like, yeah, this is cool, blah, 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 whatever. Until you experience like, I don't know what shows are like heaps these days. I mean, obviously COVID's kind of ruined a lot of live music, but and I feel like, I don't know, back then Newcastle was just something else for hardcore shows, man. And like even just actually hardcore shows in general back then were just, you can't, just being there will suck you into the music. It's not even, it's just, I don't know.
Well, that was very much the case because you'd show me, remember that radio that we had? We had it between our hoists while we were working and stuff. But I remember you showing me like miles away on that.
Yeah.
Dead Walk. And thinking, oh yeah, man, this is cool. Like I'm sort of
shot point blank.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Like I like it, but okay. But then when we went down and just being in that atmosphere with all those bands, especially hearing Dead Walk and then just seeing that. I mean, I think you and I have ended up in hospital twice.
Yeah.
Their shows. That's so fucking
shows,
and they've been self-inflicted.
And I remember I went down to Canberra with Dave while I was working at Lancasters with you. We went to Canberra for a week to ride pushies and go to, there was like this big hardcore mini festival thing that went for like 3 days at the uni down there.
Yep.
And the Dead Walk played at that. And they played, man, in this like hallway thing, this shitty little stage that they'd set up like literally in a corridor, man. And like it was fucking packed. And like it was an all ages show, but it was licensed. So they had like an over 18s area with a bar and everything. I'm pretty sure all the Dead Walk boys were just drinking in the car park most of the day anyway. But
that doesn't sound like them at all.
Like man, like I'm not even joking when I say like when Dolan says a line like, let's tear the roof off, motherfuckers. Like they literally tore the roof out of the fucking hallway, dude. Like it was insane. Like, and I remember, what was the name of that fucking big American band that headlined it? I can't even remember, but like they gave them shout outs to like the Dead Walk saying it was the most insane thing they've ever seen. And like, man, they were just, I don't know. They were such a good band, dude.
Oh, dude.
Such a fucking good band.
Yeah. But it wasn't Dead Walk, it was Drop Saw.
Yeah. Yeah. My bad. Went on a bit of a tangent there.
Yeah. Man, Dead Walk
but
was on there. But a lot
of the
same
members anyway when they first started.
Yeah. Yep. Dead Walk was on there and I sort of went, well, the band that really drew, not like was Dead Walk that night, but definitely that whole album.
Yeah.
All right, Reese, you're number 3.
All right. Taking it back to, I guess, the Vietnam era as well with this one. But it's hard not to go past because my dad used to froth this song, and I wish I had $1 for every time I'd heard it to him
Jimmy
being up
Barnes
drinking
song
with his mates. No, but that's, I mean, that could definitely be in there too. Nah, it's from an EP or album called Machine Head, 1972, Deep Purple, Smoke on the Water.
Yeah.
It's hard not to go past the most famous 3 chords in the world that every person wants to play on a guitar the first time they heard it.
Even on bass. First thing a bit weird.
Man, you know, like...
You learn the power chord version first. Yeah.
Yeah, straight up. It's, you know, and my dad loved it. When I heard it, I loved it. And I mean, like, but even like, you know, Highway Star and stuff off that same album, man. So
Machine Head is a classic album.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Smoke on the Water.
And obviously was probably the influence for the name of Machine Head.
Definitely was, yeah.
Which, I mean, Davidian's probably one of the heaviest songs in the world anyway. But yeah, I mean, man, my dad froths Deep Purple, still does. And
fantastic
that was
band,
probably
man. Awesome band.
Oh, awesome band, man. That was probably a big introduction to me to, like, you know, rock and stuff like that too. Like, I mean, my mum, you mentioned Bob Dylan before. My mum froths Bob Dylan, man.
Bob's a fucking legend. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
One of the greatest songwriters of all time.
Yeah, same thing, you know, like my parents, I grew up with a lot of that that old classic rock, and, you know, and I still enjoy it now. And I think as I've gotten older, I listen to it even more. Like,
you appreciate it more,
used to. Yeah, 100%. Like, man, I listen to like Pink Floyd and stuff all the fucking time. I fucking love Pink Floyd, man, and like
Creedence,
Led Zeppelin.
Yeah,
you know,
man, Leonard Skinner.
Yeah, just so much good classic music, man. But that was probably the eye opener for me going into even just listening to, you know, that alternative sound, you know. That was, and I remember there used to be a death metal band called 6 Feet Under. I don't even know if they're still around. They probably are. They did like a Songs from the Graveyard or some shit like that album where they covered like a whole bunch of like old rock songs but in death metal, and they did Smoke on the Water, and it was the best. But yeah, it's just a classic song, man. Everybody knows that song, and with good reason.
If you don't know it,
that's right.
Fucking
Get the
out.
fuck out.
Get the fuck out.
You're not welcome. Yeah.
Davey, number 3. Moving on.
All right, we're back to some serious shit again. Now, 1915 was the year that my first song, the band played Waltz of Matilda, was set. But this one is set in 1916, and it's it is to do with the Easter Rising in Ireland and in Dublin. And this is actually a little story that happened in the aftermath of it. So this song was originally written in 1985 by Frank and Sean O'Meara, but the song that everyone knows, or the version of it that everyone knows, is 1996's Grace by Jim McCann. And this is a song about Grace Gifford. And she was a young girl, and she married rebel leader Joseph Plunkett, who was an Irish nationalist and Republican. But after the 1916 rebellion, they took all the 16 leaders of the rebellion, and Joseph Plunkett was the youngest at 28, and they took them to Kilmainham jail and ultimately executed them all. Now, Grace Gifford married Joseph Plunkett just hours before he was executed, and that's what this song's about. So it's just about, like, let's get married. Because I have to go out and die. It's a fucking fantastic song. Really dead.
That's so heavy,
it's a
dude.
True song as well. Like, man, it was even covered by Rod Stewart. There's a fantastic version of it. But my favourite version is actually on YouTube by a young fella called Dan McCabe. But the fella who made it popular was Jim McCann, Grace. And yeah, mad important song. Like, even that moment in Irish history, like when these Irish Republicans took over lots of places in Ireland, but this song, the main part of it happened in the GPO, and to this day there's still bullet holes that you can see in the buildings. So If you want to see what it, get a good grip of it, I guess at the start of the movie, Michael Collins with Liam Neeson, a lot of great actors. It opens up in 1916 and the rebellion, and then the aftermath of it. But I love it. It's just such a beautiful little song about two lovers who, before this 28-year-old dude got killed, he asked if he could get married, and they married in a little chapel in the jail. And then hours later, even in the song, he's like, for it to take me out at dawn and I'm going to die. Beautiful. They never got the shit. They was just in front of the whole guards. They never got to spend the night together as a married couple. Or beautiful song. But yeah, that's me number 3. Like
yeah,
that's heavy.
You're fucking bringing it all.
It's a folk song song as well. But Rod Stewart belts it out because it's also a song that sang at Celtic games, like they're a Glasgow football team.
Yep.
And Rod Stewart's a huge Celtic fan, so he heard it and he's like, "This is fucking amazing." But he does a great version of it too. Lots of people do.
I'm gonna have to give it. I don't think.
Do check it out though. It's the lyrics in particular very powerful.
Yeah, well now I know a bit of the history behind them too. Like,
yeah, that's always a good way to. I feel like to get interested into a song. Is like if you know about what it's about and the meaning and stuff behind it, you're more inclined to actually pay attention.
I mean, if you listen to "Baby" by just.
Well, it's all about. It's just another love song, isn't it? Just another love song. It was
probably
that's the Justin Bieber
by Michael Jackson
time.
or something.
Yeah,
right?
fuck.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Baby.
Moving forward.
What is your number 3, Vinno?
My number 3. So this is a band that if you're into punk, get the fuck out. The first time I heard these guys was on a mix CD. Actually, no, it was a mixtape. It was on a fucking Walkman.
That's the OG. That's the real
the OG, man. So the song
used to like record songs off the radio.
I'm pretty sure that's where I got it from.
Be quiet as well when you were recording them.
Yeah, 100% because it'd pick up your voice.
Yeah.
I used to pretend to be a DJ and I'd be like, and this one's coming from Lou Bega and with Mambo number 5. You got a shout out. I hope I didn't ruin anyone else's. I hope I didn't take someone's. Yeah.
But my number 3 is Modern Man by Bad Religion off the 1990 album Against the Grain.
Who's Bad Religion?
You can get the fuck out. That's the first song on the album.
You're on thin ice, Reese. Yeah.
And like I said, I first heard it on a mixtape, and then when I finally got that album, I went, fuck yeah, first track. Loved it. And
yeah,
just a very influential band. Like I said, if you don't know them and you punk or even just
if you think you listen to punk.
Yeah. But like they've got a massive discography, but some of their songs very political. Yeah, awesome. That's what got me.
I was always just drawn to them because of that generic shirt design.
Oh really?
Yeah, it was wicked.
Just the cross with the cross
when I hear that, that's the first thing I see in my head straight away. I'm just like, Bad Religion with the red thing across the cross. Like it's
smart marketing.
Yeah,
isn't it? Like it's. But
they were in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater soundtrack as well. Yeah, like a lot of great punk bands. Black Flag and a lot of great punk bands. Yeah.
They're one of those, the Godfathers, I suppose. Right?
Yeah.
Especially for the political punk. A lot of their songs touch on issues. A lot of bands sort of touch on.
Yeah.
And give a lot of courage as well to other bands to write or to songs that they've written to actually release them. But yeah, Bad Religion, Modern Man, it'll be on there. Go and check it out.
That's cool.
Reese, number 4.
All right. I had a bit of a toss up with this band of which album to pick a song off. But it's from 1994, I think this was recorded. This is actually a cover song that they did. It's not an original of theirs, but I I think they actually did it better than the original. It's originally a David Bowie song, and it's called "The Man Who Sold the World," and Nirvana did it on their Unplugged album.
That's a fantastic version,
bro.
The whole album's fantastic.
That whole Unplugged album, man, was just so fucking cool, dude. Like a Fire, Plateau, About a Girl, like so many good songs. But I love Plateau, man.
Like the Meat Puppets originally, but I think he did. I think they, like you said with the Bowie song "Man Who Sold the World," I really think that they outdone the original.
Yeah, 100%.
They've done that with a couple of bands, even with the Vaselines. Nirvana, oh man, they had great covers out of that band.
Yeah, and it was tough because I was going to pick something off Nevermind because that was probably the first album that I heard.
I was going to pick
I probably was for a lot of people. Yeah, I was going to pick In Bloom.
Play. Yeah,
I was going to pick In Bloom because I just used to love the drums at the start. Man, like that song is so fucking good. But I don't know. I think the Unplugged album is probably my favorite thing that they've done, and which is weird because like I said before, that I've always been drawn to the heavier side of music when it comes to bands. But I don't know, that whole Unplugged from start to finish is so good, man.
Showed their range.
You know what I mean? Because definitely.
They've been just so like from Bleach, which was fucking heavy.
Yeah.
And then to Nevermind and In Utero and even Insecticide was like a punkier thing. But that just showed that now we're fucking musicians.
Definitely.
And as well, they had what's his name joined the band as well for that album from what was his name? He became the fourth member of Nirvana just towards the end. Pat Smear. From what was he from? The Melvins or whatever it was? Not the Melvins, but anyway, fantastic album, and that song might be. I know what you mean. It might be the best song on the album.
Yeah, so good. Definitely. For me, it's a toss up between that and Lake of Fire. I don't know. I really like Lake of Fire, man.
Me, Plateau. When you mentioned Plateau, I was like, oh man, that gets me because it's just there's something about it. It's got a beautiful aura towards the end and shows Kurt's voice in a different way.
Yeah, so good. Yeah. So
I didn't listen to much Nirvana.
I did, man. A lot.
Yeah, I love.
I definitely. Yeah, I mean, I know. The well-known ones like Smells Like Teen. Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah,
can't say that I got right into them.
I think Come As You Are was actually the first riff I ever learnt to play on a guitar.
Yeah, you only got to move your pinky, I think, isn't it?
Dude. Fuck yeah.
But that's a beautiful. All their albums are great, but if you want to kind of get into them and see outside of their more popular songs, Vinno, listen to Bleach, their first album, and then listen to Insecticide because that's kind of fast paced and punky. And they have a bit of fun on it. And then you can kind of get. I think In Utero might be their deepest album. But yeah, great band.
It's pretty wild, actually.
Yeah.
I'll definitely have to
dark. Yeah,
give it a crack. Definitely. Dave, number 4.
Oh shit! Now I kind of went this album. This is an album and an artist I really like, and I wanted to choose a song off of the album. But then when I chose, I was like, you know what? This is might even be my favorite song from this artist. And the artist is Ozzy Osbourne, and the album is Blizzard of Oz, classic. And the song is Mr. Crowley. Now, it's obviously it's a song about Aleister Crowley. He was a British practitioner of black magic, and he's known as the wickedest man alive, and just an all-around crazy dude. But Ozzy obviously mispronounces his name, calls him Crowley, which a lot of people do.
Which probably stuck forever.
Oh yeah. So that's what I call him, Aleister Crowley, and people are like, it's Crowley, and I'm like, well, Ozzy. But yeah, Ozzy the intro, if Ozzy said, and it is, and let it be so, do what thou wilt.
Well, that's the way Eminem pronounces it too, isn't it?
What's that?
That's the way Eminem pronounces it too. I'm trying to think of the song.
Probably as a tip of the hat to Ozzy as well. Eminem's talked about Ozzy Osbourne quite a lot. I reckon he might, and he does have some rock background. I think he secretly likes Sabbath. He talks about himself being a mix between Manson, Esham, and Ozzy. And Esham's a Detroit rapper. But anyway, great song, spooky keyboard intro. It's got like a doomy aura to it, and then comes in Randy Rhodes on guitar. That first solo is gold, but what I love about Mr. Crowley, the part of the song that fucking gives me goosebumps and moves me, and it's the intro to the second solo when he does that like classical riff. It's like and it's just fucking incredible. It's just an epic little bit of music, and then it shoots into the solo by Randy Rhodes, who's probably one of the, in my opinion, best revolutionary guitarists. You wouldn't have Zakk Wylde, you wouldn't have Dimebag Darrell.
No, 100%. And I was going to say, Zakk Wylde's talked about him heaps.
And pinchies, that style, but with the pinch, and it's also classical as well, so he's very Bach influenced. And then you can hear it in that song particularly. But Randy Rhodes, and very tragically, died in a plane crash on Ozzy's, in front of Ozzy. Ozzy was on the ground, but apparently the pilot was drunk. And Randy, funnily enough, it was his shop going up in it or whatever, and he was one of the only ones that didn't drink at all. Like Randy, like when they were all going partying, he would like teach at schools and shit. What a fucking waste, man. Incredible guitarist, and he was obviously former Quiet Riot, and unbelievable.
Yeah,
awesome, man.
Sorry to end it on a sad note, but that's a wicked fun song.
You've come in with the fucking dark side of this episode, man. Like. Those coming in with the heavies, it's good.
Oh, the next one's not going to make you happier either. So
maybe we should have done this episode for the fucking
maybe we
Halloween
can get a piss break after 4.
Maybe we probably could. Yeah, we'll see how we go.
We probably could, I reckon.
Yeah.
I could probably,
We probably should have been smarter about it. We probably should have been like, and our next choice is do the slide in, do the cut.
Could have.
Yeah. We still can.
Yeah.
We're not at that level now.
The power of editing.
Anyway.
You guys will never know. You might not even see me say this. Who knows?
All depends
on
how.
Vinno's number 4.
Vinno's number 4. So this is another iconic punk band. One that doesn't need to be said. Don't know. Get the fuck out. They were an influence for a band that Reese mentioned earlier with Parkway Drive, California. Band's Pennywise, and the first song I ever heard of theirs was My Own Way, 1999. Straight ahead. Awesome album. That was the first time I'd ever heard Byron McMacken drumming. Massive influence for me. And just fell in love with them.
Yeah.
Iconic band, fantastic. The songs, very political. Fletcher's guitaring always fast and
very fuck the man.
Yeah, dude. It's trying to find the words to sort of describe how
I think there's 2 words that come to mind.
Yeah,
it's fuck and authority. I
Yeah.
think is the best way to describe Pennywise.
I mean, I've had some fantastic times, highs and lows, listening to them and throughout the years. And I think one of our fondest moments, Reese, is fucking linked up.
Bro him.
You getting tackled and just getting up staunch as fuck, and then going fuck. Just circle pitting. One of the best weekends.
When they finished, man, the whole arena just whoa, man, that was so good.
One of the best weekends of my life was that weekend with the fucking Carbonara pie in Newcastle before we went down. But that was where it all started for me, Penny, with My Own Way, and I heard that from my older brother, so I was chilling in my room, and at that particular time, Metallica, thanks to Dave, he'd sort of come and brought us Pantera and Metallica sort of stuff, and I'd been listening to that for a bit.
Icons.
Yeah, man. And I think it was school holidays, so we were 30 k's out of town. We just had like me and my 3 brothers hanging out, sort of thing, and my brother Reese threw that on and heard it and thought, who the fuck is this? So went and knocked on his door and said, what's that? And lent me the CD. And it.
He doesn't mean in anger. He means for kids today might not know what burning a CD is.
Bernie said he just copied it.
So he doesn't mean,
you know what? I don't think you really need to explain that, because looking at analytics of people that actually listen to this podcast, our age group is pretty much 28 to 35.
I'm thinking of the future when historians are trying to teach kids about how a podcast should be done. And they're like, well, here, listen to Fireside Yarns. This is originally where Dave got his start.
Burning CDs was a thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was back in Elvis's day.
Man, all of my PlayStation 1 games were burnt pretty much from Civic Video. So
remember when you used to be able to get your PlayStation chipped?
Yeah, I had it. Man, my PlayStation 1 and 2 was chipped. I've still got them.
Me too, bro. Me too.
Yeah.
The best thing was because like my dad worked for Qantas and so did my stepmom. So they used to bring home pirated games from overseas, and that's why I got my PlayStation chipped. I used to have like hundreds of games.
You should see my PlayStation 2 for I got a stack like that in a black folder.
Yeah.
That was remember that night that you didn't show up when Luda and I were out the back just getting drunk, and then I ended up passing out on the lounge, but we were playing Guitar
there's
Hero.
probably more than one night.
There's been plenty nights. But yeah, we're up stupid o'clock, man, playing Guitar Hero on.
That was pretty much every weekend for us for a while.
It was. We lived in the glory days.
Barbecues and Guitar Hero. I just used to froth playing Black Label Society every fucking 2 seconds.
Anyway, that's our number 4. When we come back, we're going to finish off the list. But
a couple more to go.
Yeah, we got 5, 6, and 7 to go. Stay with us. Welcome back, guys. Had a quick pee break and filled drinks and all the rest. So
I don't know what we're going to put in there.
Oh man, we can put anything in there. We don't care. We'll do what we want. It's our show, man. We've got 2,000 views on our reels. Big time now. Number 5, Reese, you're gonna get straight back into it. What do you got for us?
All right. Number 5. Back to the 90s. Where most of my shit is, I guess. This artist is actually probably one of my mum's favorite artists, I think. But when I first heard this song, I loved it. I still love it. It's from his self-titled album of this track, actually. It was released in 1993, and I always remember the film clip on Rage and stuff. Same deal. But it's Lenny Kravitz, Are You Gonna Go My Way?
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys got into Lenny Kravitz, man, but
Are You Gonna Go My Way?
I didn't get into
I'm pretty sure he was probably one of the main reasons I wanted to get dreadlocks as a kid, which I did. And
that's such a funny thing. It's like I'll dedicate these dreadlocks to Lenny Kravitz.
Lenny Kravitz, yeah, pretty much.
His daughter's Catwoman now in the new Batman movie.
Yeah,
right.
Zoe Kravitz, and her stepdad is Jason Momoa. But anyway, Lenny Kravitz's ex is married to Jason Momoa.
There you go.
But Lenny's a fantastic guitarist as well. It's Batman related. It's DC. It's all that shit. But Lenny Kravitz was a fantastic guitarist.
Oh, he's an amazing guitarist.
Oh, it's happened to who?
Man. Yeah, he's
Jason Momoa. He got COVID, I think. Is that right?
He'll be right. Look at him. He's an Atlantean. Yeah.
True.
And he's in the new Dune movie. But anyway.
Man, but I remember seeing Lenny Kravitz video clips on Rage as well, even his later ones. But yeah, I remember seeing Are You Gonna Go My Way?
Oh, so, man, it's just, that's one of those songs that just makes your head nod, you know? And that's pretty much, that's what I judge most music on, really, if it makes my head nod.
Yeah, really. Fuck yeah.
Takes you somewhere, right?
Yeah, 100%.
It gets you when you're moving to something, you know what I mean? You're part of it. There's an electricity.
Definitely. The nod factor is real.
Fuck yeah.
We should have, that could be a thing. It's like songs that make you nod.
Bro, I have an entire playlist called The Nod Factor, which is actually it came from. I can, 100% I can. It's actually my most followed playlist on my personal Spotify by other people. So it's all riff based. It's all like bands, not hip hop.
Well, it has to be, doesn't it? It's the music.
Yeah. But then I actually got the name is from Mad Skills, who's a rapper from back in the 90s. I think he just goes by the name Skills now. But he's like the underground Big L to me. And he actually has a song called The Nod Factor. I think I played it for you the other week, Dave.
You played me this guy, and if you like Big L, everyone out there, this guy sounds like Big L's back. You know what I mean? And, it sounds like fucking Big L. That's the only way you can describe it.
He's the underground Big L, man. Straight up. They sound nearly identical.
I would have said, oh, that's fucking, I never heard that song from Big L.
Yeah.
It's exactly it. It's that good.
Yeah. So I mean, I judge a lot of my music off if it makes my head nod or not, and
Lenny Kravitz
among other things. But that's the general consensus for me. If you can make my head nod, I'm usually pretty solid and I'm about it. So, but are you going to go my way? Always gave me the head nod. And it's just a good riff. It's man.
Another iconic one, man.
I Want to Fly Away. What's that?
Yeah, Fly Away was another good one.
Yeah, man.
Probably his biggest one, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, it was huge. Plus, he did American Woman for Austin Powers.
Yeah,
he did too.
Right.
Yeah.
And Madonna wrote that beautiful song, American Pie, for that as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tom McLean. Fuck Tom McLean. Madonna owns that shit now, okay?
Yeah.
I'm just joking. Don't come and get me.
Anyway, before Dave brings up any more shit, we're going to go to Dave for number 5.
Okay, to Dave. Now, this artist, I'll say, is revolutionary artist. He's one of the first superstar artists ever. He was, his life was ruined by stardom, but it also, it made him who he was today. The artist is Elvis. Now, I tossed and turned. I was like, what am I going to pick for Elvis? Because you like your Sun Records Elvis, you like your movies Elvis, you like your 68 comeback special Elvis, you like your Vegas Elvis. But I said, I'm going to go gospel Elvis. And I'm picking Peace in the Valley by Elvis. I'm not a religious person. I'm a fucking atheist. And this song
need to be, man. That's a fucking gorgeous song.
Gets me, man. Peace. And I want that. Like, that's my funeral song, man.
Yep.
And that's originally written 1939 by Thomas A. Dorsey. But he recorded his version in 57. And look, obviously Elvis grew up in all those black Southern American churches, and it really shaped who he was. That bluesy gospel feeling really made Elvis who he was. This version's what I love about it. It's so quiet, and you can barely hear the music in the background, and it's basically Elvis and the Stamps Quartet singing, and it's just an amazing vocal track. And there's another live version he done on the Ed Sullivan Show that was estimated. I think he viewed. Like 55 million people watched it, and he actually dedicated the song to refugees fleeing Hungary after the Soviet Union invaded it. And hundreds of people sing this song. It's a song as old as fuck, but the way Elvis is, again, his range, he could do he's really one of those artists that could do anything. But the song I chose was Peace in the Valley, because when that song, man, and he doesn't need music in the background. It's similar to when he did Fever or even Heartbreak Hotel. His voice just fucking carries it. He has a rhythm in his voice. And the Stamps Quartet in the background, similar to the Jordanaires who he used later on. Just a beautiful, you got your bass singers and you got it's just a beautiful song.
Yeah, man. And Elvis, man, as an artist, I mean, one of my fondest memories. Man, one of my fondest memories growing up with my grandfather, Dad. Singing songs going to bed. Fools Walk In.
Rush In,
yeah. Wise Men, Fools Rush In. The moment I hear that song, it takes me back. Elvis, like anybody else could sing that, it doesn't do it for me.
Yeah.
The moment I hear Elvis's version, that's fantastic.
My dad used to sing it to me, man. He used to sing Daddy Big Boots to me, the Elvis version. And obviously, I remember being a kid, right? And we had this Elvis tape that had Teddy Bear and I'm all shook up on it. And I used to play it when everyone was kind of away, and I would jump around pretending I was Elvis on all the couches. I just wanna be, and I'd be like fucking.
We're gonna get Dave so drunk one night and get him to do a fucking.
I will recreate that.
Yes. Speaking of like bedtime things, my mum actually did a great rendition of Ice Ice Baby Vanilla Ice with a stuffed gorilla as a
Ruthie,
kid.
Ruthie, you're coming on the show to do it.
And she was like dancing this stuffed gorilla thing. Yeah, so I feel you. Like
on the Fireside Records.
I understand the importance.
Ruth's coming on to do that, man.
Funny, Vanilla Ice. It's just, some people get nursery rhymes. But you got straight fire rhymes.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Just needed
through a gorilla at that.
Just needed Ninja Rap, man. It would have been complete.
Exactly. I'm sure Colin would agree.
In happiness. Yeah. Yeah, Elvis, Peace in the Valley. That's awesome, my number 4.
I'm not going to lie, I've never heard that, so I'm keen to listen.
Oh man, listen to that. It's a beautiful Elvis song, and it's actually. Back when in the 50s when he was doing his real rocky stuff, it's when he was able to really again show his range by stepping back and doing that real respectful. It actually won a lot of people over again because obviously
he was very controversial. Yeah.
Well, on the Ed Sullivan show, they wouldn't fucking film him from the waist down because of when he did Hound Dog, because obviously he's corrupting the mind of young children. Yeah. And the screams, but him doing that it's a special song to me because obviously it makes me feel like, oh man, it touches me. I nearly, for a non-religious person, it's like music gives you that religious experience because it unlocks your goosebumps and it pulls electricity out of you and makes you move and all.
I can't believe you just said that.
What do you mean?
Like, I love it when music gives you goosebumps, dude. It's the best. Is absolutely the best.
That gives me.
That's why you listen,
bro. There's some songs, man. Like I kid you not, that I can listen to them literally on repeat, and there's sections of songs that give me goosebumps every time I hear it.
Goosebumps, cut glass, man. Yeah,
that's
how you know. That's how you know, and it can be a lyric. It can be the way it makes you think, and it's
a riff, man. That just brings back 100%.
A sound. How mad is that? It's almost like a color or a taste.
It's crazy, dude.
It's the magic of music, man. As an art form, like it's.
I really do feel sorry for people that don't get to have that experience.
They exist as well.
I don't. When you like, sometimes you just meet people and you're like, "What's your favorite band? What music you're into?" And they're like, just listen to the radio or pop music. It's just not like a big part of their life, and I find that so hard to believe.
Can't click with them. I don't understand. It's like, you're the psychopath. I don't want to be in your life. You're going to kill me one day. I'm going to end up
No. This is what you need to say from now on. Just look them straight in the fucking eye. I can't because I've got walk eyes. But you look as straight as you can. Just get the fuck out. Right?
Yeah.
Just get the fuck out.
They're not fun at parties. I remember whatever situation, we were buying something from this gentleman. And we were all talking. He was a salesman of sort, and we were actually conducting the sale in his car. So
was it commission based?
And he was yapping. I don't know whether he was a manufacturer or a distributor, but he was our point of sale regardless. He was here. I like this product. This man, right? And I remember we said, because we were just talking, because obviously we were there and we were experiencing his product with him, because he was conducting a demonstration, and
that's good salesmen do.
Oh man, yeah, and but it came up and he's like, I don't really listen to music, and we were like, I don't think we can buy this from you anymore.
That killed the sale.
Lost the sale.
I didn't want to be around him anymore. It's like there's something missing in you. Yeah.
All of the best experiences in life have something to do with music for me.
Man, it's
the soundtrack of your life. I hate saying that, but it just fucking is. Like,
it is, man. If you hear a song, it takes you back to a certain point in your life, whether it be good or bad. It's music does that, right? Whether you like it or not. It could be the most the poppiest song that you've ever heard.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
But or it could be, you know, a song that you played at a specific point in time for a certain reason. An example for that for me is "This Heart" by Miles Away. I spoke about it in the first episode topic, right? Where I heard that, and through pretty hard times of mine, I went back to that song and I listened to it because it meant something to me.
Yeah.
Now, I could show that song to somebody on the street and they would go, oh, yeah, cool, whatever. It doesn't mean anything to them, but then there's another song that does. So whether they say they listen to music or whether they're interested, there is certain songs that everybody will get back to. It's like certain smells, right? If you grew up here in Australia and fresh early morning, you step outside and you smell, you know, gum trees and eucalyptus and like that, right?
Burnouts.
Yeah, depending on where you are, burning cars. Yeah, no matter where you are, right? There is a certain smell that will take you back to somewhere.
Yeah, man.
It's those feelings.
Yeah, Gatorade bongs.
Yeah,
it can change your style, your life. Like you were saying, with your hardcore scene that you jumped that took over your life, it changed your style, changed your friend group, changed your geographic experience. You know, for me, before I moved to Australia, like that's all. Like I liked metal, so I went and hung out in the metal area in town in Central Bank, and again. It changes. It can, I guess, if you're deeper into music, change you as a fucking person. It's incredible.
Yeah, it is. Incredible. And the people you meet, like we spoke about it before, like we were lucky enough to play in bands and, you know, travel around doing that. And the people that we've met, you know, incredible people, and we wouldn't have met them without it.
Where else are you going to hold a load of men as well? Like, you know, people you've never met, like who are wearing a T-shirt that you like, you put your arm around them,
where else can you
lyrics to each other's faces?
Punch someone in the head and they turn around and do it back, and you're all friends. Yeah.
Good work, mate. Yeah, if someone falls,
I was going to say that earlier. There's something special about being in a mosh pit and getting roundhoused in the head by your best mate and just looking at each other and laughing and singing words and just.
Dude, I remember. I don't know how I remember this, but Greg's birthday on the way to watch Thy Art, and I ended up with a broken nose on the way there.
Stop!
Right,
don't.
And then
how bad I felt.
Oh man, that was about the fifth time.
Must have been some break.
It was fucked. Anyway, that night I was that drunk because they used to do $5 cocktails at the Cambridge, right? So I was just pumping them. I clicked my nose back into place myself, strapped it, went to the show. Thy Art played. Hoarder of Chainsaw came on, and I was that drunk I forgot about it. Went into the pit and copped about fucking 10 punches to the back of my head. Turned around to see Reese standing there just fucking going hell for leather, right? And as I'm walking out, get another fucking smack straight across the nose, straight to the toilet, straighten it up. Like, it was fucking, but awesome experience.
Car mosh was a very serious thing.
But it's a violent experience among comrades. It's a weird thing, isn't it?
I wouldn't call it a violent experience, man. I would we touched on mental health the other week, right? It's a release. All right. So you've got and this is where a lot of the people are drawn to it.
It's a violent release of positivity.
Yes. Yeah. In a positive, you're releasing your anger, your angst in a positive way. In a safe environment, and people that walk into that and see people just going nuts might not understand it, but that's
And that's usually where the trouble always starts, is the people that are new and don't understand.
They wander in and think it's just
if you're in a room full of people that know what a hardcore show is and know what to expect.
Yep.
Like,
you don't get drama. You don't get shit. Yeah.
You don't. Yeah. You don't have it. It's when you get the people that don't understand what a hardcore show is come in and think that people are trying to fight, and it's not the case. Like, yeah, it's crazy. It really is crazy. So I think that's what's so drawing about it.
I love it, man. I do. And
yeah, absolutely.
Like, the last few times that I've entered a mosh pit, I've ended up hurting myself more than what anybody else has hurt me.
You miss somebody. That's just because I'm old. That feels. You know what I mean? When you miss have you ever missed somebody in a mosh pit when you're going for them?
I don't aim for people. I when I go in there, man, I
have comps. Like we used to have.
Oh, like, no!
You'd point if to someone from across it.
No. If I go in there, man, everyone else is blacked out. Like I'm in there for me.
Yeah, it's like, just
I've had. I used to. Fucking. My hands used to be so swollen from literally punching the floor, and I didn't see. If I went in there, I wasn't looking for people. I was just in there for me. Like I was just doing my thing. If I got hit, so be it. If I hit other people, so be it. Like I said, the few times that I did sort of turn around was that time with Reese. I'm pretty sure I've seen Dawsey do some serious damage on people.
But there's footage of that around somewhere.
Yeah, man.
I think Ando has it. Yeah,
but I didn't go in there to pick certain people out. I went in there for myself, to enjoy myself, and a lot of the time it was
having a good time.
Yeah,
well, it's like a dance. I don't know about obviously hardcore shows. Maybe it's more of you go in there and you close your eyes and whatever. But when we were doing it at Temple Bar, there was you would see people that would want to control it. You would take on people in a good way, like and when two people are going at it, if one kind of gets the better of them and they're on the ground, everyone picks them up. There are people that you can tell is like, all right, this motherfucker, he's ruling this shit. But yeah, and of course there's different styles of the way you can go about it. But definitely, you wouldn't smack someone purposefully in the back or anything like that. But you would definitely, all right, me and this fella are dancing in a way. We're locking and we're going at it.
Yeah,
and you don't want to call it dancing, but it's I guess it's the same thing.
Well, I mean they do. I mean it's kind of it's hardcore dancing.
You're moving around, and who's this person?
I'll tell you what I will say is the best mosh pit I've ever been in, where I knew exactly who was in there, was Panthers, Day to Remember, Reese, myself, and Trent Phillips were the only people in that whole pit the first time they came over. So fucking good.
What a band!
Oh man,
what a band!
What a night! That was when they played with Parkway and
Suicide Silence.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Confession.
No, I'm trying to think of the band.
Maybe.
Apologies for the week.
Not August Burns Red. Was it August Burns Red?
No. That was the time after. Anyway. First time I saw them, and we were the only three in there, and it was the first time they'd been.
Yeah.
Right. In the interest of moving forward, my number 5.
Yeah.
Hold on. How did we get from Elvis fucking Peace in the Valley to mosh pits and stuff?
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
I was forgetting. I was like, what hardcore song did Vinno talk about that now we're
Piss Break, I think.
Yeah, no.
Because
we came back from the piss break. Yeah. We spoke.
We've done 2 songs since.
We did Smoke on the Water, and then Dave spoke about Elvis, and somehow we got to.
That was like 3 songs ago for me, dude.
Man. Number 5.
My number 5.
Who's your Mambo number 5?
My Mambo number 5, right? So this was a band, a song that got given to me actually on the Villy Dog mixtape, which Reese gave to me, right? And then a couple of years later, I said to you, let's cover this, and you had no idea who I was about.
Okay.
So I loved them from the moment I heard this song. This song's off their 2004
I know
EP.
what this is.
Not now,
I
not
know
ever.
what this is.
Yeah.
Pass the torch.
No. Cleo by Another Breath. Do you remember that?
Another breath. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
man.
Yep.
Awesome. I love the melodic
good
guitars with the crossover of heavy vocals. But the song that really drew me in was Cleo.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I've not listened to them in years, dude.
And then the I think it was the next release was either an album or an EP. And one of the heaviest songs I've ever fucking heard. I can't. Give me 2 seconds. I showed that to Dean and Glenn and Will a couple of years down the track because we were actually yeah, so it's the title track of the album, The God Complex, and it's about domestic violence and stuff. That was one of the heaviest songs I've ever heard when it came out, and if I hadn't have heard Cleo off that Billy Dog mixtape, I wouldn't have got into it. So
shout out to Billy's Pies,
mate. Wasn't that a time? Wasn't that a time?
Bro, I lived on them motherfuckers for a good while.
Durries, Coke, and Billy Dogs.
Durries, Coke, Billy Dogs.
Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Everybody out there.
Obviously, billboards for health, you know.
Yeah. Oh, we were at the time. We were mechanics. Breakfast of Champions. Reese, number 6.
The ultimate.
Let's have it.
All right. I know Dave's going to frown upon me on this one, but if it wasn't for this, I wouldn't have got into them. And
what could it be for Fred? Is
I
it the English
Minaj.
national anthem? WAP.
No,
And I was about to say Cardi B, isn't it?
WAP.
Western Australia.
It's definitely
Police.
Cardi B. It's WAP. All right, sorry.
The WAP did a good thing this week. Yeah. West Australia. Police.
No, look, this album was given to me by a mate that I actually met through sailing, believe it or not. But he was a couple of years above me at school. We ended up becoming really good mates. And he is actually the reason I got into quite a lot of heavy music as well. It's off unpopular opinion. I don't think it's a bad album, but a lot of people do think it's a shit album. I know Dave's not a huge fan of it. It's off the Black album. And it is sad but true that it's probably my opinion this way. Metallica, Sad But True, is the song I picked off this album. I fucking love the Black album, dude.
I don't hate the Black album.
The Black
I just
album,
think it's their best album. Man. It might be, yeah. Like they took
Black
a lot
album's like an introduction to Metallica. Like, if you,
I don't agree with that.
Nothing else matters, man.
Yeah,
Puppets is the intro to Metallica.
I don't.
Because you're not going to get
maybe for our age group because at the time everyone was wanting to play Puppets, right? But
no, Black album.
See, Black album I think was
since 96. When did Black album come out?
No, Black was 91, dude.
Yeah, like that's what I mean. Like that was when they broke out. Puppets was like 86.
That's what I'm saying. But
88 was Puppets. 86 was
Ride the Lightning, and then 85.
Ride the Lightning was 84. No, sorry.
I had to. You think Kill 'Em All 83 then?
83 was Kill 'Em All. I think.
And then 85.
85 was Ride the Lightning.
Because they didn't wait 3 years to make Puppets after Lightning, did they?
Puppets was 88. I know Puppets was 88.
It's a good year.
What's the fuck? My favorite album in the middle?
Thriller came out as well.
Recently Garaging.
You thinking of Justice?
I mean, obviously, Senang is their best album.
Yeah. It's like
Tommy will back me up there.
Yeah, but Tommy likes fucking Nickelback. Fuck off, Tommy.
Hey, that was their
risk album. It takes a real man to admit that you like Nickelback, bro.
Yeah.
If you can sit there and look at someone in the face and go, I like Nickelback,
you can get the fuck out.
Hey, I don't like Nickelback, but if you could, Jake, I know if you hear this, Jake, you'll say the same shit because he tried to get me on Nickelback all the time. He like play this song and be like, "Do you like this?" And I'd be like, yeah, this is sick. What a riff. And he'd be like, it's fucking Nickelback. I'd be like, fuck you, man.
But look,
Rockstar was a good track.
I mean,
Black Album was a good album. It's not my top 5 Metallica albums.
But hang on, you're speaking from a
elitist.
Yeah, metal point of view, not an elitist.
No, because I like Limp Bizkit.
That was me taking the piss.
I'm not an elitist metal lover. I love Limp Bizkit for fuck's sake. That's frowned upon. That's frowned upon metal. Yeah. But fucking no, Black Album is when they tried. I don't know if they want to say try and go commercial, but they were sick of doing 8-minute songs with solos, and they were sick of having 10 different riffs in a song.
It was their crossover.
They wanted to play from the heart.
Yeah,
and great. Like they've got some great songs on that, and even Unforgiven is one of the fucking best Metallica songs.
Do you know what? That was my least favorite song on that album.
Really?
Oh, looking back,
Unforgiven.
I love that.
Yep. 100%, and I'm not even ashamed to say that. That was my least favorite song.
True.
And Unforgiven, really.
Kid Rock did a good version of it with American Badass. That was the best version of Sad But True.
Look, but in all seriousness, if I hadn't got that album, I probably wouldn't listen to Metallica.
Yeah.
I probably would have, but that was the album that made me go, what's this? You know what I mean?
That was the same.
Which made me go back and listen to everything else.
Yeah, Unforgiven.
That's a heavy song. That is like a heavy kind of country bluesish I kind of feel about a song. Like it's got something in it that's a bit southern or something, which maybe they were trying to capitalize off a bit of the Pantera-y stuff that was trying to mold themselves a bit, or evolve, I should say. They didn't go full fucking load or reload, but so that was your first. Was that the first song you heard off Black Album?
I think it would have either been Enter Sandman, because that was like commercial there. You know,
and that's what I mean. That's what I mean about that album being like an introduction to Metallica, because people that didn't listen to metal and those sorts of things, they heard Enter Sandman, right? That was their first. The first time they'd heard Metallica in a lot of ways, and then hearing Unforgiven and
probably just in the black way, not in a lot of ways.
The what?
Probably just in the Black Album way, not a lot of ways.
Okay. Cool story, bro.
No, but like,
if you know what I mean, you know, like
feeder from Metallica is because to get to because it's all beauty's in the eye of the beholder, or art is subjective. Because the Metallica I like, I don't think that would be a good route to get to it. But but again, like you were saying, for the normie that wouldn't like Kill 'Em All or Ride the Lightning or Half of Puppets or definitely any of Justice. You know what I mean?
Justice is probably my favorite album. It's either Justice or Ride the Lightning for me. They're my two.
Justice is 3 for me, I think. But I think because Cliff's not on it and the absence of bass kind of loses it off. Because I go funny.
And see, that's what I mean about you. You being an original, like you've heard them from Cliff all the way through, right?
Well, no, because I'm born in 1988. How old was I?
No, but where were you? When were you? Like, what was the first song of Metallica's shown to you?
It is from Kill 'Em All. It was Four Horsemen. I was introduced to Metallica by a human. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't hear Enter Sandman, and it clicked. I like this. You know,
but like, see, because you were in that scene, right?
Like Metallica.
You already liked, but you were into Pantera and stuff at the time, right?
No, Limp Bizkit. I had the red backwards New Era cap and a chain hanging off me with baggy things. I was walking around telling people to bring it up. And then someone was like, fuck's sake, I'm going to show you metal. And he made me a metal mix and Metallica mix. And the Metallica mix, the first song was Four Horsemen. And there was some Black Album on it too.
And you know what? I was the opposite to you, because I heard the likes of Metallica and Pantera before I heard Limp Bizkit. And like Limp Bizkit.
You would. Well, they were around before it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
They were just hidden to me for whatever reason. And getting into the metal.
Do you want to know what album was given to me around the same time that I actually got this? Was Push You Mang by Smash Mouth. I don't know if you guys have listened to that album.
Smash Mouth were big,
bro. That like Walking on the Sun, that was like their hit song off that album, right? Which is
They do Shrek as well.
Yeah, he did they did the theme song for the original
Song,
Shrek.
man, that was like their big break. You know what I mean?
It was.
But if
that
you
was
listen
on
to the rest
Rage
of
and
that
everything.
album, dude, I can probably still sing every word to that song. But like the album that's off, man, that's just a punk album, dude, and it's cool as fuck. It's fucking so good from start to finish.
That era produced a lot of weird mix of punk and new metal and it was all mixed up, wasn't it? But it was a great creative era too.
Okay, so that begs the question then.
That's a great number 6. It is.
If you're watching, what was your first Metallica song you heard, and off what album, if you know it? Because obviously we've been introduced. Because we've been introduced to it in different eras, obviously. Different times.
Yeah. But Reese, you were really love to know. Sad but true, but then ended up liking Justice. And Justice is their most, I don't want to say uncommercial album, but it's that album that you can sing along to the least, if you know what I mean. Like it was so technical.
It's just Riff City, bro. I love that album because it's just riffy.
The drums on Justice. Fucking and their arrangement.
You nearly think that it wasn't Lars Ulrich playing, wouldn't you?
It probably wasn't. I'd imagine he had a little bit of help. Lars was good.
I used to idolize him. Man, and then,
he still idolizing. He's not the technical drummer that everyone wants him to be, but he arranges all those songs. If you like Master Puppets as a bit of music, he was like, no, let's put this bit here. Let's come in and do this. You know the Enter Sandman riff? That used to be doon do 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 and just continued. But he'd be like, put a bit of it down, like end it. Like he'd create the loop. He looked at it that way. Yeah, and then go back again. Like he was that dude. So so his music wasn't, I'm gonna sit and play drums and be a rhythm section.
Lars, I've always looked at Lars
as Dr. Dre of Metallica. Yeah. When James
he's not a technical drummer. He's not a technical drummer. He's a solid drummer.
He's the meat and potatoes, if you say. Anyway,
British new wave drummer. He didn't have the double kick or anything like that, but or at least he did. He did until Justice. That's right for one.
Right. Moving on, Dave.
Number 6. Okay. Now I wanted to get this band in somewhere. They're the Dubliners. And there's so many songs I could do from the Dubliners. I could do Whiskey in the Jar that Metallica actually ended up doing a cover of. And Thin Lizzy. I could do a Rocky Road to Dublin by the Dubliners. I could do all these, I would pick 20 songs. But why I like this song is I think people would like it, even if they don't like Irish folk. Now, this song is called The Spring Hill Mining Disaster. And it was released in 1973. And it was originally... it's about a disaster that happened in Nova Scotia in 1958 where 75 miners died. And Luke Kelly's vocals are amazing. He's one of the best folk singers ever. He's the original Dubliner singer. But it's just so haunting. I reckon I don't know why, but the song, when you're listening to it, when you do check it out, I think the Doors could have done a great version of it. It's that type of beautiful 70s sound, but it's folk. And yeah, fantastic song. I fucking I could have picked any Dubliner song really, but I really enjoy this one. I think it would be like you said with the other ones, a good intro into the Dubliners and a real good way to appreciate Luke Kelly's vocals. It's good. If you're into the mining industry, you'd probably like it too.
Well, we've had similar incidents over here, but not a recent one with people getting out. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna. I want to listen, man, because you know I do enjoy folk music stuff like it's. We draw a lot from it, especially in when you start getting when you go into pop. A lot of it does resonate from folk music.
So old, isn't it? And again,
and some of them are crackers.
Storytelling.
Yeah,
you were talking about
that's right.
A week before, I can't remember what we were talking about, but how Indigenous people pass on their stories, and Irish
music
people are
and
very
dance. Yep,
it's such an art form to be able to tell stories through music, man.
Yeah, mate.
Well, you look, especially like when we were talking, and
easy
people
way to remember, right?
People watching
a story because it rhymes, and
people watching weren't involved in the conversation as well. We were planes in Warzone hanging out. But I was talking about the song, and it was brought up in Kelly, Moreton Bay.
Yeah.
Bernard Fanning, innit?
Yeah, it was sung in that movie by Bernard Fanning. But that's a story in itself, and a lot of those folk songs from that era, are telling a story, and a lot of the colonialism comes through with them. So I've got a real interest in that stuff just from our own history.
And even Dylan. And the politics. The Dubliners have a lot of political stuff too.
That's where Dylan shone through, I think, because he had that story. He bridged the gap between, conservatives, progressives of that era through the way that he wrote his songs, and people that were definitely, like, without a doubt, backing the Vietnam War, we've got to be there. But him pushing his message, and the way that he did it through his style of music and his storytelling bridged that gap. So that was where, he'll forever be one of the best songwriters of all time for that. Yeah. Because he was able to.
I was obsessed with him for a long time.
Yeah, dude, so many people. I love
Bob Dylan.
Yeah. Yep.
And again, he wrote songs. So like, some people might love a Bob Dylan song, but they don't know it was him singing it. Like they might hear All Along the Watchtower by Jimi Hendrix and like, oh my God, that is the sound of the fucking of Vietnam, or that is the sound but like that's a Bob Dylan song. Or they might hear Blowing in the Wind by Joan Baez, but that's his song. Like he's so good, man. And even with Hurricane, I know we didn't shoot. No one chose Bob Dylan even yet.
Man, the Hurricane is such a good song, dude.
Yeah. But that's
epic, and that's Joan Baez actually singing in. The woman who's singing in that with him in the background singer. That's Joan Baez. Yeah,
there you go.
Fantastic song. Fantastic song.
I mean,
the Hurricane Carter.
Incredible songwriter, and to be able to do that, you can't plan for that. That's just raw talent. That's just natural.
In modern day, I know he's not modern, but for us, but a modern day poet.
Yep.
Like a true artist, and we're still alive in the same era as him. Great, big bucket of win for that. Same with Chuck. These guys are still here.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Crazy, man.
Vinno. Right. Without ado, your number 6.
My number 6. So this band got introduced to me, I'd say, a bit later. What I'd say I'd wanted to. I was living with a good friend of mine at the time, Ollie, playing in a band with him and Darcy. And one of their big influences was Propaganda. And one of the first songs wasn't the first song that got shown to me of theirs, but the first song that really drew my attention was off the album Supporting Cast. The song is Potemkin City Limits.
I've never really got into Propaganda, to be honest. They're a bit of an acquired taste.
Yes and no, I think.
Same with the propaganda of Gandhi.
Fucking day.
Yeah.
Go on. Like, I apologise to all Hindu nationalists.
What if we're going to have an episode where Dave doesn't have to apologise?
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
I don't have a day, let alone an episode.
Look, Propaganda was, especially for the music we were playing at the time. Those guys had done a lot of writing when I came in as their drummer, and they showed me Propaganda. Does a lot. Massive. I'd listened to them, and then when I heard Potemkin City Limits, I went, all right, there's some joy. And then the whole album, Supporting Cast, was, I sat there just listening to that. I found myself one afternoon and went, actually, I fucking love this shit. It's not the punk that I was originally into. That straight in your face and the way the lyrics are is, and the guitar, the songwriting is quite technical, and it's a play on words very much so. So you've got to think about it, which is something that drew me to it, was the fact that there's double entendres there very much so in a sense, and you've got to think about or put yourself in their perspective, and then some other songs you just they're not holding back. So, but yeah, that was a song that I really enjoyed for a number of reasons. But that whole album was the first album that Ollie gave to me. I loved it, and I really, "Hey boys, I'm on board. I'll let's fucking write music." So I suppose that was a big thing for me because I'd been just playing hardcore. I'd been playing with Dawsey and that, and Carlin and Luke down the coast, and time for TBF and then went full time. TBF, yeah, was playing punk again, so that was cool. I was doing both things that I loved, both genres that I loved. That was the inspiration there. Yeah,
it's a win.
Oh man, it was a win. It was an awesome time. I loved it. I remember like that house.
I remember just watching you jam out in the garage, man. It was fucking cool.
Man, at 2:00 in the morning, like where we lived was fucking cool up there.
And Hunterview.
Yeah, man. Like our neighbours were fucking cool as, man. Like we had big fires in the back. We were playing music in the shed, and
drums.
The only time we had a complaint and we stopped straight away was because the old couple across the road, we got a knock on the garage door one afternoon. We practice every Friday, right? You knocked on the garage door and I opened it. Hey, how you going? And I worked with her husband at the time. He was an operator and I was a mechanic at the same place. And she said, oh, Ray's not real well. I went, oh, that's it. We won't, and that's all. And that was the only time in 4 years that we'd had a complaint. Yeah. Usually I'd be out the front mowing and they'd come over and they'd have a chat. Like it was awesome. It
wasn't even a complaint either. It was more like
it was a hey, yeah. It's Ray knew that I lived there and I knew he lived there, obviously. And I had said to him a couple of times, mate, we get years and end up in the shed playing music, and he goes, we don't hear it. Like he was half deaf. But even the neighbours all around it, like they didn't worry them. They were cool.
Really, isn't it?
It was awesome. It was a really, really cool house because we pretty much every weekend we had the fire going out the back, people coming up and chilling out, yarning, yeah, man, for sure. And then
it was definitely some yarns.
Like and subscribe.
There was some fucking bottles of vodka fucking drunk there too, and some people spewing in my veggie garden.
Homemade vodka.
Jesus. I warned you, motherfuckers. I warned you. So, Dave, I don't think you were at that one, but I think it was my birthday weekend.
Was that the Rutledge night?
Yeah, man. We were Ollie and I had been buying litre bottles of homebrew from somebody that he worked with. And this shit was potent. It was a smooth as, like you could drink it.
Yeah, it was
straight.
definitely smooth. It was straight
smooth.
Metho.
And that was the danger, right? Because we found this out. So we had one of the fridges had a water dispenser. So we were there one afternoon and filled that with bourbon and Coke. And we were sitting out the back and just, drank the whole 4 litres of that fucking thing made up. And then we didn't feel drunk until we went to stand up, to walk inside, and we were fucking done. But it was smooth and it was just potent. So, for my birthday that year, I bought 3 bottles of the vodka and 2 bottles of the homebrew, of the bourbon. Anyway, all the boys came over and I fucking put 3 bottles of vodka out on the table. And I said, boys, just chill. Like, it's smooth. You're going to think you're fucking tough as nails by drinking it from the bottle, but it's going to come back and fuck you up. Not even fucking 20 minutes later, right? I've been inside getting like food and shit ready, and I come out and I've got one in my veggie garden fucking passed out, one around the corner in the garage fucking spewing the hole up, and one down the back crying who's got his pants down around his ankles spewing and shit. And I just went, all right, fucking the vodka's been smashed. And then you've got Jake. Then you've got Jacob, man, just sitting there with the whole litre bottle, just fucking. Man, that boy could drink, but
he was a spirit machine, dude.
He was. But yeah,
really
it was a funny place. It was a great time, a great house, and we had some good times. And that was where, yeah, I suppose that was my introduction to propaganda at that house, and yeah, some really good times. And that's what the Potemkin City Limits. That brings me back to that time, very much so. And that whole album.
Is that inspired by Nutbush City Limits?
Sorry?
Is the song inspired by Nutbush? Is there a dance that goes with it? That could be quite...
Listen, I reckon you and I could get on the fucking... When we actually do an episode in person, you and I will get on the piss and we will do a Nutbush Potemkin City.
Hey.
By dance.
I'll do the... Who was it? Tina Turner?
Yeah. Yep. Nutbush.
Thunderdome.
Fantastic.
I'll nut to that bush. All right, and on top of that,
Reese,
you're number 7. You can move things along now. We don't.
Wow. She might not be the only thing that Ike beats that night.
My mother wants. My mother watches this.
Here at Fireside Yarns, do not.
No.
Everybody, a lot of people's mothers watch this. But anyway, Reese number 7, move it along.
Lucky last. Righto, we're kicking off the last round. And this was probably a given no-brainer for me. Still my favourite band. This is off the first album of theirs that I actually heard, which for a long time probably was my favourite. Not so much anymore. I actually find it very hard to pick a favourite album. It's Pantera. It's off the album Far Beyond Driven, and it's Strength Beyond Strength. First track on the album. It punches you in.
What a way to kick into an album. Yeah.
Mate, I've got...
New style. Yeah.
Mate, I've got Stronger Than All tattooed across my stomach.
Yeah.
They're just... I don't know. There's no better band than Pantera.
I'm really fucking disappointed that you mentioned Pantera. And...
Why?
5 minutes alone.
Mate, I mean,
you know what that song's about?
It doesn't matter what that song's about.
Man, someone told
Mate, you need to read up on the lyrics to that song. It'll change your opinion of the song.
Maybe so, but that song just fucking cracks me up every time. Without knowing the reason.
Oh.
Because Reese and I just used to fucking cruise around doing test durry runs. And that song had just come on every.
It's, man, I mean, Far Beyond Driven is
becoming as well on that album. Fucking
I'm Broken.
Oh man.
Oh man.
Yeah, you know what? Still my 3rd favorite Pantera album, maybe 4th after 101 Proof, because I like that live album.
Yeah, the live album's sick, but man, it's funny, and you know what's crazy? Because so Jake, this guy that I used to work with, legend, good mate. Loves Pantera, loves Metallica, loves metal.
Shit, it was.
And I said to, I swear, I said to him, we were talking one day, and I was like, I don't know if I can answer this question, but I want to ask you. And I said, like, what's your favorite Pantera album? And he was like, instant reply. He was like, straight away. And I was just like, how can you possibly answer that quick? Because I'll go, Yeah, it's probably nah. But then again, I'm and I can't pick one straight away. He's just like, I'll go display power, and I'm like, really? You're that confident? Like you just straight off the bat, and then I start thinking about it. I'm like, actually, you know what? You're probably right.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, but hang on, what about this on Cowboys? And then it's like, I can't pick a favorite for Pantera, man.
Those three first albums, like for me, it's the first two, to be honest. Like, I couldn't choose between Cowboys and Vulgar, but I would probably
like
go
Metal Magic
or my life. Oh, and Power Metal. the EPs. Well, they were full albums. The first one didn't even have Phil on it.
Yeah, but, the first three, right?
Oh no, I think Phil's on Power Metal, isn't he?
Which is the one before Cowboys, yeah.
Yeah. But he's
the
not
three
on
before
Metal
that.
Magic.
I'm pretty sure.
Pantera self-titled or something. I can't remember what it was. But yeah, that was an Abbott production, really. But I'll go in different times in my life. I'll be like, oh man, I love Cowboys is my album. Then I'll be like, nah, it's Vulgar. Then I'll be like Cowboys. And now I'm kind of like, I just like, it is hard to decide because it's what humor are you in? Because Cowboys is more trash. It's old school. It's got an 80s vibe on it. If you like them high-pitched singing noises.
Yeah.
Vulgar is the start of them where it's like,
Getting
holy
heavy.
shit. Like, I want to fight. Pantera makes you want to fight with people. And it's Vulgar display is when it's kind of like, okay, I get now. And that's, I guess, a Vulgar display of power. It's like, it's unnecessarily groovy.
Angry.
And heavy and angry. And if you want to make it more clear, how about putting someone getting their face punched off them in the fucking cover?
On a shirt.
That's what it is. It's a punch to the face.
And even my band ripped that shirt off. We did
It's a great shirt. Yeah.
It's fucking so cool, man.
I had that shirt on the other day, actually. Just fucking walking around.
It's just, I mean, like, I got given Far Beyond Driven. Actually, it was, I got shown it. I'd heard it and I loved it, but I didn't have it. And a mate of mine actually burnt it for me. But at the same time, he burnt me like a double album thing, right? So he gave me Far Beyond Driven and he also gave me Born Dead by Body Count. So like I had those two albums together, man.
Body Count.
Yeah, but like
they're an old punky, hardcore, speed metal-y rap.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
Metal kind of.
Genreless they are,
Yeah, fully. But it was just crazy now because I mean, I still love I love all of Pantera's albums. And there was a period where I was like, reinventing the steel is shit, like this is fucking not Pantera. But now I go back and listen to it, I'm like, you know what, this album's really not that bad. It's pretty good. But
it's more Pantera.
I think, unpopular opinion, man, Great Southern Trendkill's probably my favorite.
Oh, Floods.
Man, so you say that tonight.
Yeah,
it'll
but if you ask me tomorrow, I'll be like, no, Cowboys.
Sandblasted Skin Part 1, is it? Is that on it? Sandblasted Skin Part 1? Is that on it?
Yeah.
Oh, that, it is a good album, but it was...
It's so fucking good.
I'll be honest.
Drag Your Waters, fucking War Nerve.
More.
Floods, fucking...
After Far
Suicide
Beyond
No Part 1 and 2. Oh.
That's what I'm getting Part 1 and 2 from. Suicide.
Yeah. Sandblasted Skin. The Trend is dead. Yeah.
That's right.
Man, it's just from start to finish that album's
down.
The Flood solo is like something else, dude. But yeah, I don't know.
Anyway. Look,
Far Beyond Driven was the first album I got.
I'm starting to get to the point where I really got to pick.
All right, go.
All right.
Are you finished, Reese, with your number 7?
We've all done the man. Yeah. Everybody knows Pantera. I didn't want to touch on it too much because you did them in the first one, but
let's do an episode.
I can't not say it. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like they're my favorite band.
Man, and I have special songs with Pantera as well. To me, epic.
Definitely,
many of them. But anyway, great number 7.
All right, Dave, your number 7. What have you got for us?
So this is my hip hop song. So it's the only hip hop song on my list, and usually we will put these in the hip hop episodes. But when I was thinking about it, this song isn't even off this artist's, in my opinion, top 3 albums. But what it does do, it shows the evolution of this artist and how far they've come, and and it really meant a lot. So the artist is Eminem. So Eminem we've had on this podcast heaps of times.
He was
not in person. We would love to have him in person.
We have not. He's just like Jesus. And God. He's here with us all.
He's a rap god.
Faith is in Eminem.
Yeah, the rap Jesus.
He's the rap god.
He is.
But this song is off the Marshall Mathers LP 2 album from 2014, and this song is Headlights, and it features Fun's lead singer Nate Roos or Roos or whatever his name is. So they sing that "Set the World on Fire" song. But what this song is about, and anyone growing up loving Eminem knows his relationship with his mother Debbie Mathers. Every album he's killed her, he's or worded her, he tells you the story.
He shits on her one way or another. Yeah.
Slim Shady was his nickname for her because, you know what I mean, because of the drugs introduced to us, whatever. Like he did not have even cleaning out his closet, and My Mom, Brain Damage. You look at it through his whole discography, and he's shitting on her. But this song, he apologizes to her.
I shit on you, D12.
And that whole album's great. But the apology to his mother, and it's kind of like he's hoping for a more united, less dysfunctional relationship. It just he's so vulnerable in it, and he admitted in the song about how hard it must have been for her being a single mother and a drug addict. Great song.
That starts to show his. I think that the interesting part about
he grew up and he realized
he starts to mature. We see a different Eminem in those from that. It's
funny because I was actually listening to Eminem today a lot, and I was thinking I was actually thinking about when in previous episodes, knowing that we were doing this tonight, and the fact that I didn't have a list and I was what to put on it and stuff, and I was thinking about things that we'd said about Eminem in previous episodes, and all of us have been listening to him for a very long time, so we've grown up with pretty much from his beginning era, you know what I mean?
Hi, my name is...
Yeah, exactly.
That was huge, yeah.
I follow the Eminem subreddit on Reddit, and the other day they were they always do these weird threads and stuff in there. It's really cool to read sometimes because they'll be post a lyric and then you got to guess the song that it's from, or, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And there's so many people that have only been Eminem fans since Recovery and stuff like that, and I'm just that's so weird to me. You know what I mean? It's how do you not? Yeah, I guess same as if we were talking before, first album I heard was Black by Metallica. It's Justice. I've gone back. You know what I mean? And there was people in there that are I don't even know what the song is that you're talking about. It's off, I've only listened to him since such and such. And I'm how can you get an interest in an artist and not go back and listen to everything?
I envy those people because they've got a mountain of discovery. They're going to hear the Slim Shady LP for the first time. They're going to hear the Marshall Mathers LP for the first time.
Let's see. I hope those people haven't.
Early 2000s and party, you know what I mean? Knowing what was going on in Play 2001 and the Up in Smoke tour, and just being this has never happened.
Those people, I think, and I hope that they go into it with an open mind, so it doesn't ruin their experience or their love for him aspect. Not because it's shit, but the stuff prior to that was completely different. And as we mentioned before, but the maturity that he shows in the newer stuff, man anymore, and his earlier stuff, I hope those people don't look back on that and stop listening to him because of that. Because
do you know what?
For us, that was a huge influence, and especially through high school, and that was where he really started to shine through for us. But I just hope that newer people don't listen to him and write him off because of it. Because what they need to understand is
the whole world wrote him off, dude.
They did, but
you know what I mean.
For us, we loved it, didn't we?
Wrote him off though, because those are the albums that wrote him in.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Those are the albums that put his footprint.
But because they were controversial, though, he was.
Not just that, but they were lyrically technical. They were sound musically. They were. His albums were like they were in place. Like we were talking about before about how albums used to be like, man, I want to listen to this from start to finish. Yep. Eminem's albums were done so that when you listen to it with the skits and each album kind of had a theme. Like Marshall Mathers LP was much more darker and personal than Slim Shady LP that was about more like a drug trip. That he was taking you through and analogies.
100%.
But Marshall Mathers with LP was like, well, he even said it. They say I can't rap about being broke no more. I can't rap about coke no more. And you know what I mean? And he'd go, and he was just showing off, and then he would talk about being a celebrity and the weight of that, and the legal battles and being in protest.
The fact that he become a millionaire and then he had 1,000 new family members and
that's right. Like, hey,
hands out, you know,
I got an uncle.
What I was going to say, like, not to take away from you, but like, I'm kind of glad that you have Eminem at the end, because what I was thinking today while I was listening to him is like a lot of people that are probably diehard old school Eminem fans. I mean, most of them will probably still be fans because they understand his progression and stuff. But there's a lot of people that probably listen to Eminem now that don't really like him that much. And I know, Dave, you said as well that you're not really into his newer stuff.
When his style changed, it was hard for me to carry on.
100%. But I think as a whole of everything that we've discussed tonight through things that have influenced with all this music, I think Eminem can represent every single thing that we've mentioned.
Yeah.
Like, he's influential for his entire genre. He's well above the bar for his lyrical ability, his storytelling ability.
He's been the top of his game for so long, man.
And that's one thing I think a lot of people don't like about his newer stuff is like his beat selection, but his cadence and his way to pronounce and use words and double entendres and triple entendres and his wordplay and everything becomes a form of music itself. So like one of the songs off his the B-side of Music to Be Murdered By, which is the latest release that he has, Tone Deaf. Such a weird fucking beat, man, but his cadence and everything in that song is just it's musical in itself.
Yeah.
And it's out of everything that we've said, like
he's a rap god.
I mean, especially but not so much just rap, but just music as a whole. He can cover every single base of
hip hop, even though he is so respectful of hip hop, and even though he does represent what is great about hip hop, and he is hip hop, he went past the genre.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think because he went past the genre, that now he's trying to prove to people that no, I am hip hop.
I am hip hop.
So that's he wants people now to appreciate his fucking lyricism. Yeah.
And I think if you don't, already, you're an idiot. Like, or you can get the fuck out because
you get the fuck out. Yeah. There has to be something you can appreciate from Eminem, whether it's just Stan and whether that aspect of that groundbreaking
storytelling.
Yeah. From that perspective, that hadn't been, from the crazy fan, from anything. Like, I go back to Slim Shady LP, to Role Model, to If I Had, where he's dreaming about being big, to then when he's dealing about being big. And now that he's such a recluse, and he's also someone that I think after Proof died, particularly, he tucked his head in and put paper to pen. And like a Rakim or a Big Daddy Kane, he wants to let his art speak for himself now.
Yep.
He gets 100%. Political every now and then.
And he does a thing.
I do need to open up and appreciate his newer albums more, for sure.
Well, I mean, he copped heaps of flack for that that BET cipher he did about Donald Trump. Which, when you actually listen to it,
and I think, around that era, it was amazing. And I think around that era, and whether you're on the left, right, you were going to cop criticism for anything,
There's a song he does called Stepping Stones.
Yep.
Which he basically explains why D12 will never get back together.
Yep.
And it's because of Proof.
D12 anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly right. He said that D12 died when Proof died. It's just, and he apologizes to them for that, but he can't bring it to himself to do it without Proof. You know what I mean? It's yeah.
bringing up that BET cipher he did, a lot of people, where he shed, the fans he shed on that day, the fans are like, oh, we love Eminem because he's a South Park shock rapper who just says things to make me think, you know, like he fucked his mother and a dead horse, and you know what I mean, all that kind of stuff. Those fans get lost. Those people that didn't look deeper into his appreciation of the movement and what he was trying to talk about. So
have you listened to the Kamikaze album?
I listened to parts of it because I wanted to get
the song "The Ringer." Man, fuck, I love that song. But the whole last verse
as well, I think, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, he goes at so many people in that song, but
the whole album is a bit of a
But the end of the last verse of that song, "The Ringer," he talks about the BET cipher, man, and it's pretty crazy. Like he pretty much talks about drawing the line in the sand, like. You know, he put himself out there and he drew that line, like, and
which is you know, very much him, isn't it? Like he's been that standout. He's been that fuck you to everybody.
Yeah,
you know, his whole career. Yeah. So
just don't give a fuck.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
he's
for real.
He's definitely, you know, one of the, especially for our generation.
He's our Elvis.
He is.
Oh. He took the black art form.
He did.
Yeah. I don't want to say perfected it, but he brought it to the point where it became a multicultural.
Well, look, even
black
other hip hop artists have said that. Yeah. You know, even other hip hop. So
Black Him has said it. Yeah, and that's all you need.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So who else is going to say, "Oh, well, you don't represent the culture"? So Black Him said it. I'm pretty cool, and Cool G Rap says I'm pretty cool.
Yeah. What are people? There was people saying that he was a guest in the House of Hip Hop.
That was Lord Jamar. It's like he said, all white rappers are guests in the House of Hip Hop. And to a point, I agree with him because here's how. And I think Eminem
hip hop
agrees.
Is black music. Yeah,
it's like Irish music, Irish folk music. If fucking Lenny Kravitz decides to play Irish folk music, we don't go, okay, it's not Irish music anymore. Now that Lenny Kravitz played it, we say, oh, good, Lenny Kravitz is one of the best Irish folk, you know, whatever. So there's Irish music, there's Spanish music, there's flamenco, you know, whatever. And hip hop is black culture because it's not just
that's right.
But look, was it 50 Cent that said like hip hop is a black music and people don't like that white rapper doing it better? Like, and you know, whether it's black or white music or whatever, like,
real recognizes real.
Yeah, and he. You know, I won't repeat word for word what was said to him. I'm a bit drunk, but what was said to him by help me out here. Fucking
name a song to do.
Boxer. Fucking
Simon and Garfunkel?
No, not Simon. Fucking Garfunkel.
They did the Boxer.
No. The actual Boxer. Fucking why can I not think of his name?
Fury, Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson.
He was on Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson.
Yeah. Why the fuck can I not think of Mike Tyson?
That was a good interview too, man. That was a good interview.
But you know, the things that he said during that interview, they reign true. I think, and I'm certainly not speaking for black people at all, like African American people at all, but I think he pays tribute to the craft very well.
And he brought D12 with him, and he brought Royce the 5. He introduced 50 Cent.
Not only that, not just bringing the people, but even, you know, paying tribute to Dr. Dre with the way that he does it, saying that he would never have been anywhere, and recognizing the risk that Dre took to get him where he is.
Well, Dre did think he was black originally, but look, when he heard Infinite, he was like, "Get this, motherfucker."
But you know,
and Eminem showed up with fucking peroxide hair.
But he said that he rocked up in a bright yellow jumpsuit, you know, and still put him in the booth. So, you know, that's a risk, and the fact that Eminem recognizes that and has stuck by him, you know, just shows that he's genuine to that craft. And
I think it's probably safe to say that we're all just a bunch of stands. Let's be honest.
Yeah, but
look, we're a bunch of drunk.
African
We're a bunch
Bambaataa,
of drunk noobs
fucking-
sitting in our office or bedrooms at the moment.
We didn't give
Bringing
them the
history.
credit to be accepted in hip hop. African Bambaataa, Rakim, KRS-One, all these guys did. Okay,
Yeah.
and what they said was when hip hop started off, even the Beastie Boys were there. Rick Rubin was there. You had Filipinos and Latinos and Puerto Ricans at the start with DJs. And hip hop used to be about all different types of music. They would put Queen records on and
It was about finding breaks and
parties.
Yeah.
So it was a thing. That was genreless, but became their thing because their instrument became a turntable because that was a lot cheaper than having a drum set or a guitar and an amp and pedals. So when the African Americans in the South had all that music with guitars and all, when they were driven out of the South and all of a sudden they were in an urban jungle, what did they play with? You know, and how did they create another genre of music out of being poor?
The interesting thing is
that's how it all started too with rhymes.
Yeah,
that's right.
But if you haven't,
it was hype people, like keeping people dancing at block parties.
Throw your hands in the air.
Yeah.
Well, Master of ceremony, they're literally
You look at a lot of the if you haven't seen already, Gangland. But you look at a lot of the origins for some of the street gangs in America at the moment have come from dance groups, which were associated with nightclubs and going and dancing, not to hip hop, but to DJs and stuff like that. So
to breaks,
talked about MC Hammer being one of the most vicious motherfuckers in the game, and he was let's challenge me to a dance, motherfucker. And that was serious shit. That's actually where Vanilla Ice got his first. Like, he was accepted in the hip hop community as a good dancer. Like, he would rock up and he would fuck shit up, and people would be like, "Oh, he's good." And then he did the MC and stuff. You know what I mean? And then, because that's what you did. You tried everything. People tried spray painting, and then Vanilla Ice was accepted that way. But then, obviously, after.
I think that's a lot of people don't understand that there's more to hip hop than just rapping.
It's not
there's
just
so many. It's all of the elements that make hip hop. It's breakdancing, it's DJing, it's graffiti,
very diverse culture in itself.
Knowledge. That's right.
Hip hop, like that's why African Bambaataa describes it. It's hip it's now. It's been hip means been aware. I'm hip to this.
Yeah.
So it's knowledge, and hop is the movement. It's the movement of us together, but also it's music.
Knowledge of the movement.
Yeah, that's right. And it just makes sense, and it's so new as well that we don't know where it's gonna go. Like, because it's came so fucking far from the 80s till the really late 70s, but mainly the 80s. Yeah, and people like Eminem, like Mike D, and DJ Adrock and fucking MCA were around at the start.
Yeah,
they just were.
Yeah,
but Vinno. Without ado, lucky last. What is your
number 7? Okay, so I'm going to. This is the only band or the only song that I've done tonight that wasn't the first song that I've heard of this band, but it's definitely one that I love. It's off one of their most recent release. Their most recent release came out this year. Acoustic EP. Now, I know Reezy knows this band, but I had the pleasure of playing with 3 of the members of this band when we were writing our own punk stuff. And we played a show, had 2 of the members filling in, Paul and Mika. So the band's No Quarter. And this song is off their 2017 album, Freedom.
I didn't even know they were still a band.
Mate, they are. Yeah, absolutely. It's COVID, I think, has impacted them. Their recent release is the Air Up There acoustic EP. You remember Lone Star? That, like their first release that they did. Back
not by name.
2000, I think it was 2009. This song, the song that I'm talking about, is called "Abandoned Ship. This Fucker's Sinking." Right, stands out because it's just an awesome song. But I wanted to give a shout out to a local band and some really awesome guys that have been working really, really hard, especially Mika. I'm playing in 2 bands now, but he filled in when we were playing in Lethbridge, when we were playing a show at Maitland. Him and Paulie came and filled in, and that allowed us to play that show. And they're just awesome bunch of guys. They released Freedom, and it's an awesome song, and the guys have done really, really well. And I know Darcy was doing a lot of work on that when we were finishing up in Lethbridge. And see those guys still going on, and I'm pretty sure they're working on an album now. So it's more of a shout out, this one, to No Quarter, local punk band that have been going strong or going hard, driving for
a while
for the area. Yeah, man.
Early 2000s they started, right?
2009, I think. Like I said,
I thought it was earlier than that.
Might have been. But yeah, Abandoned Ship, This Fucker's Sinking. Awesome song. Get on there and have a listen to it. You can definitely hear Paulie and Darcy shine through with just how far they've come. Well, I know Darcy on guitar, how far he's come from when I first met him to where freakish. Like I said, the I might be talking out of place there, but I think the beating heart for that is Mika, very much so, because passion and drive, and an awesome bloke in general. Haven't seen them for a long time, those boys, but I'll give you a shout out. Cheers, fellas. The new acoustic EP, it's on Spotify. Get on there and have a listen to it. So, yeah. Cool. But that brings us to the end of our picks this week, boys.
I like doing these ones.
I really enjoy them. I think it.
It's because we're all music heads.
Oh, look, yeah, but I think because it's the feedback that we've had, especially from the hip hop one, I suppose it's because everyone can relate to it. We're very heavy music orientated, which I suppose is why it's a surprise with Dave with your picks tonight, with your folk picks and not, but a lot of our friends group is heavy punk sort of music. So whereas hip hop is one that resonates, I suppose, with a lot of people. So they've been pretty popular.
With that being said, though, like I think, I don't think we have a great deal in our close circle of friends that are that heavily into hip hop that they have the knowledge about a lot of it.
Everyone likes some hip hop, right?
Yeah, 100%. It's very mainstream now.
Yeah.
Because he can have, like you're saying, with Body Count or Helmet and House of Pain back in the day, or hip hop, or even with like fucking Necro has on the prefix for Life and Death. He's got Jamie Jasta on that from Hatebreed, and
and don't worry, Hatebreed were a very close pick for me tonight.
I don't know. Dude, I thought you were going to have a Hatebreed song on that. I'm surprised you didn't, because they're kind of like a feeder group into hardcore, aren't they?
It would have been Perseverance for me, straight up.
Oh man,
Hatebreed and Pantera as well.
One of my songs that fucking Reezy would probably know that I had to cut out. And it was one of the laughing stocks with when we were working together. Just me leaving him in the afternoon. Simply just because it was comedic value, but everyone bleeds now.
Yeah. Cracking song. Hatebreed are just a great band, man.
Yeah, man.
In the heavy hardcore, they're pioneers too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I think, with the heavy music, you either hate it or you love it, right?
Yeah.
And one of the reasons why I wanted to touch back subject was because when we did this the first time, it was just Dave and I.
Yeah.
Your response, like I wanted to sing, and the next episode we had you on, and then you're full time. So I really wanted to touch back on this because, I don't think you got your chance at the time.
We can keep going with these too.
Oh,
because
man.
they're genreless and because music unites fucking everybody. You know what I mean?
And man, I think I kind of went all over the shop genre-wise for me tonight.
Well, that's what we want. That's what we want. And especially for you guys watching at home or listening, whatever platform you're on, please get in the comments.
Platform 21.
Yeah, like get in there and tell us what's your favorite genre, what's your favorite song, what's a song or an album or anything that's really
changed your life
or influenced you, or it might have been a turning point in your life that you heard a particular song or you put it on specifically for that point in time. Because
what are those songs you would bury yourself and put your headphones on and in your room and just close your fucking eyes and just be immersed in it, or on a bus, school bus, or you know when you're upset or you're angry, or if those songs that kind of it's a form of escapism too, isn't it? It's not just something that can accompany you. It's something that you can just be like, I want to shut off. And I want to just be in this artist's world.
Yep.
And then it can be also something that can bring you together with fucking hundreds and thousands of people. You can go to a 100%. Gig of an artist and you can go there alone and you'll be arm in arm with people. Man.
Yep.
And that's, and like, even though we might joke about genres of music and stuff like that, don't take that as, right? If you like Lady Gaga, it doesn't matter. Tell us.
Oh, I like Lady Gaga.
She writes all her own music, and she's fucking pretty cool.
I'm using that as an example. Like, if people are sitting there going, "Oh, these guys only like heavy music," they're not gonna like Lady Gaga, or they're not gonna like Rihanna, or something like that. Get in there and tell us. It doesn't matter what the song like. Like as we said from the start, it's open slather here. We want to know. We're just interested in conversation and you, and what you've got to offer. Like, it's whether it's an artist, an album in particular, or a specific song. Get in there and tell us. We really want to hear from you. But before we sign off, a big thing this week, Vanguard. We're all going to be on it this week. So if you haven't got Discord
already. Does it come out this week?
Yeah, man, it comes out.
Yeah, it's Friday, is it?
Tomorrow. Well, it says
tomorrow?
It says the 5th, but that might be American, so that'll be Saturday. Look, so
yeah, that'll be US, so it's Saturday for us.
Vanguard. We've got the Discord
in Discord.
Yes. Yeah. So we've got the Discord set up. We are going to be in there over the weekend.
Killing sweaty.
Please get on, even if it's only if you haven't got the game, even if you just want to come on for a chat. We're going to be in there. Jump in there, have a chat to us. If you've got some feedback for us, if you've got potential topics that you want to discuss, if you want to come on the show, jump on, have a chat to us. We're going to be there. The Discord, it's in the link tree, which will be on for this episode and all the other episodes. So, but guys, episode 13. What I will say is we've come a long way from episode 1.
Definitely.
From many ways. We did what Dave was hoping for, and that was the Halloween episode. And look, I think
that was our aim. It's like if we can get to Halloween, that's like a good run.
Yep.
Yeah.
But what? We're on 13.
And we did it. We smashed through it.
We got there. And look,
every week, motherfuckers, you had a Fireside Yarns every motherfucking week. Yep. So you better like and subscribe. Oh, coming after you. Shouldn't threaten people.
Yeah, look, thank you guys. Right? The ones that have been there from the start, and anybody that's come on board, thank you very much. We really do appreciate it. We enjoy seeing each week the notifications coming up on all our platforms, and just hearing the comments and the feedback in person as well. It's awesome, and it gives us that drive. And we enjoy doing it regardless. But when we hear that sort of feedback and we get those comments,
Just makes it worth it. Even
It makes it worthwhile.
Episodes, and it is fun and a hobby. But then when what I consider our best episode, probably, and I'm sure you might agree, the mental health one with the Hewitt brothers, just to see that reaction and have people privately DM us and talk to us about stuff makes it seem more important. And that episode has helped me personally. It's helped friends of the show who us three would know from talking to us about it. It's just become so much more than we thought it would be. We just thought we were going to take over the world as the next Joe Rogans. But maybe Joe Rogan will be the old Fireside. Who knows?
He might be. Anyway, lads, another episode down. Season 1. We've still got a lot of growing to do, and we hope you guys stay along for the ride and bring your friends. Well, bring them around the Fireside. We do intend, now that restrictions are starting to lift, we do intend to get in person. No, fire restrictions.
Fire restrictions are starting, and
mate,
they're gonna start
1st of September. 1st of September around our area, mate. Fire restrictions are on. All right, so I haven't been called out yet. Thank fuck, but there's plenty of people that have been. But guys, as we said, get in the comments. Thank you for your support. All of us from Fireside Yarns, here's cheers. And we'll see you next week.